live on YouTube first. Wait and see if everything pops up. I'm good here.
Oh, where's the bottle of Don Julio?
I got one over here.
Yeah, we got to make sure we get that on the camera so they can see what we're drinking.
We going for sponsorship?
What? Maybe someday.
Oh, well, I mean, maybe someday people will just decide to drink with us.
There you go.
That's the idea, right?
We got to still come up with a name.
Oh, for the show?
Yeah.
You don't like Friday Fantasy Talk?
Friday Fantasy Talk? Is that? Well, that limits it to always being on Friday.
Do you see it happening on another day?
I was going to say, we've all said that this is the only day that it can happen. So,
well, I mean, if it becomes successful, you kind of have to,
well,
we could do a name change.
You have to give into it. Well, but at that point, it's kind of hard to, right?
We'll deal with that when it comes. How many views or listens did we get this week?
I can actually pull that up here. So where are the live one? Did I name it something different?
And you guys made your DFS lineups?
I did.
I did not. But that's okay. I don't have to give a lineup this week.
We already did it, though.
You guys can. My point is, like, I messed up. I didn't do it. I didn't get it done. What the hell?
I do have one caveat in my lineup.
He probably had something important.
Did you guys use this last week? Did you guys ever look up there and no? And use it to kind of camera adjust or whatever?
No. Oh, I mean, yes, I did.
Because
I forgot it was there.
No, that's this week's. Why the heck is it not popping up? I put it in like word for word. Mm-hmm. I don't know. If you want to tinker with that and find it at some point, if you want to do that, you don't have to.
Looking for the other one?
We're looking for the live one today. I just keep refreshing it.
So this is what he was
last week.
This is what he was asking about, though.
That's 15 views last week.
Yeah.
We got 15 views. Okay, but what I meant was finding the live one now. And then, as far as over podcast platforms, the past 7 days, it looks like it got 11 views. So for a total of 26 views. Yeah. And that's my overall tracks. Okay, so we are live there. Let me go ahead and start recording. How's it going, everybody? This is right now the unofficial Friday Fantasy Football Talk. Well, that's the unofficial name, Friday Fantasy Football. We're still throwing it around. I don't think we're 100% on board, unanimous with that name. So we'll get into that. We'll figure that out. But as for right now, that's what it is with Cloud, Ken, and Tequilla Bryan.
And legitimately Tequilla Bryan tonight.
Yeah, he got sick of our whiskeys and our rums. And who brought it?
We both did, actually.
What do you mean? You guys went to the store and grabbed it at the same time? What the fuck does that mean? You both brought it?
Independently, we both showed up with Don Julio Silver.
Oh, you guys, there's two bottles.
There's two bottles.
Oh.
So don't be shy.
All right. Oh, here we go. I did not text everybody to let them know we're live. Did you guys want me to do that?
Yeah, go ahead and do that.
So Ken, why don't you kick us off?
Actually, give me a second. Let me take this sweater off. It's going to get warm.
Yeah, you're looking like you're burning up.
I'm going to, for sure.
Okay, Bryan, why don't you kick us off with some of the bet results?
Okay, well, we had a couple of bets going on. Against my better judgment, I'm allowing Mooney to get a point for this last week, even though Kyler was on bye. So the bet started a little early, so I'm under the gun here, but we'll see how that one goes. Next, we have Atlanta versus Jacksonville. I had the over, and Ken had the under, and he got that one right. And then our last one was Tua top 12. And I was against him being in the top 12, and Ken was 4. I got that one right, of course. And so we each have a shot due.
Of course.
Well, that was the easy one.
I'm sorry, the Panthers didn't put up much of a fight.
I did expect the Panthers to put up more. I really did.
Yeah, because he started Cam Newton.
I died with Cam Newton is what I did.
You sure did. I think you both died last week.
Yeah, we might as well get this over with. Shot first, and then I'll cry.
So these shots are paid up shots or
paid up shots? These are paid up shots.
Okay. Woo!
All right,
Don Julio. Woo-hoo. So, I just want to start off with this podcast is brought to you by Command Zone. Remember, you got that 3 for 3 deal. 3% off if you
next 3
do
minutes.
a shout out for Command Zone. 3% off in the next 3 minutes.
And we'll do that 3 more times.
There you go. You want to do a plug later? You do a plug.
Stay tuned.
But yeah.
All right, so yeah, and then the other thing was we were all even on our picks for the week. Yeah, there's a wide variance on there, where we landed on each different game, and for us all to end up with 7 correct picks is kind of interesting.
Oh yeah. So
we're all
so the results, right? We all picked 7 right, correct. And what the comment I wanted to make on that was, I guess we all know just as much about football.
8 if you count last night's game.
No, I think that either way we're tied.
I didn't count that one. That was the
okay. So we tied. We all got 8 right, and so I guess we all know just as much about football, just different areas, different teams. We all keep an eye on different things. At least that's what the data would suggest after week 1, after one data set, right? So
huge sample size. Yes.
Yes.
So we're gonna go ahead and that shot was because of what? Why did I get a shot?
You're just a really nice guy. Like I can't stand to see these guys take shots.
So the other thing we have lined up is the Kyler versus Mooney stuff, right? Did you go over that?
I did.
Okay. So
sort of. He sort of went over it. He went over the part that hurts him, but he forgot to mention that that's why he gets Kyler top 8 instead of top 6.
Was that I gave up a point at the beginning?
You didn't know he was going to get a point. Like you say that now. You say it like you knew Mooney was going to be top 20. So why'd you make the bet?
You just know I'm too lazy to go to the tape.
That's true. He is. But I've seen the tapes. I already know.
Gonna have to trust you.
He
yeah,
consents to
exactly.
this.
That's what he's getting at. He's not sure he can trust you on it, and I'm not sure I would either.
That's okay. The penalty is tequila, so he'll live.
Right.
Happily.
So this week we're gonna do things a little differently, right? We're gonna draft the games.
For DraftKings, is that what you're speaking of? What are you talking about?
No. But
Draft
to watch them.
Oh yeah. Okay.
To cover games.
Now, obviously, I'm going to watch the Rams versus Jacksonville.
Yeah, and obviously he's going to watch the Steeler game. We're not going to take each other's teams from each other, so we can take those 2 games off the board. And let's see. Well, I think I have to take Buffalo, New England. It's going to be the game of the day.
Now, do you guys?
It's Monday. Oh, it's Monday night game. Excuse me.
I was gonna say. Now, is there any time frames that are preventing?
We're all so the primetime games we can all watch. So
that's
there's no reason for us to draft those ones. So we can stay away from those. So that's cool that I don't have to actually do that. I'm gonna take Bucks and Falcons.
Rams versus Jacks.
So Bucks Falcons. We've got. Basically, the most interesting thing about this matchup.
1 second. Who's Steelers playing against?
Steelers are playing the Ravens. The Ravens.
Okay. So, what was your interesting thought on the Bucks versus the Falcons?
I was just going to say I think we all know that the Buccaneers are going to win this game, and they should. Even though the line's 10.5 points, they should cover. The most interesting things about this game are going to be whether or not they hit the over because the Falcons actually scored back. And whether or not Brady gets back to being a top 12 quarterback, because for the last month or so, he's been really bad. I mean, for fantasy, he's been really bad for fantasy.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, I expected more out of him. I'm glad I lost that bet. Or not bet, but that bid for him.
Well, at this point in the season, maybe, but I mean, he probably would have, won you a couple of weeks.
Oh, because I'm so good at picking the right quarterback the right week.
Yeah, so lesson learned for next year: pick one quarterback and just right. So I actually had that problem last year where I felt like I was trying to sit Josh Allen, in bad matchups, and it didn't work out. It did not work out at all. So this year I was like, I'm not doing it. I'm going to get my guy, and I knew I wanted to get Josh Allen again, and I'm going to get, his bye week, he'll sit, and that's it. I'm not even going to think about it. Just start my one guy.
And that's more or less worked out for you, right? I mean, there's been a couple of bad weeks. But
So, what's actually interesting is there were some stats about that. about and the footballers went over this because these guys are really they're super good about the things that they pay attention to, and he has 4 number 1 overall finishes this year, but has also finished outside of the top 12 just as many times.
Right.
So it's interesting though, because like outside the top 12, I think his low, like, I'm sorry, what's that?
Beer? You guys want any beer?
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be great.
Good,
A beer would be outstanding. I think his low water mark is like 14 points or 16 points or something like that, and he's only been under 23 times.
So even on his bad games, he's not like killing you.
No,
Yeah,
on his bad games are, high end streamer. So,
Right.
and you'll take that every week, So I've not regretted it. I have not thought back and been like, man, I really wish I'd picked up a quarterback this week and started him over Josh Allen.
Right.
Because there's
not even Cam Newton.
Not even Cam Newton. Not even Cam Newton.
To each his own.
Taylor Heineke, I thought about that one a couple of times. The guy's real good.
So why don't we do this? Let's do this 2-1. So we're drafting these teams, and at the same time, let's note.
Well, we should also just break down the game.
Okay.
As we do it. That's kind of what I thought we were going to do, and
that's fine.
We didn't really break into that. So I'll just go over the stats for the game. The line is Tampa 10.5, and the over under is 50.5. Oh, we should erase this board so we can get a new board going on. I'm going to do that right now.
What'd you say the over under was?
Well, here, you talk about your
50.5.
game. I'll erase the board. I'll get the board. Okay. You talk about your game here.
So yeah, like I was saying, Brady should get back on track in this one. I think also him and Gronk were just, they were on last week. Antonio Brown's still going to miss a couple more weeks. That situation seems to get weirder and weirder. I don't know if you guys know about what happened this week with him, but he was...
So glad he's not on my team anymore.
Yeah, he was one of 3 players who were... pointed out as having violated the NFL's COVID policy for, I think they provided fraudulent paperwork saying they were vaccinated, and so they've all been suspended. And one of them is not even on a team right now, and they had to stipulate if he is picked up by a team, he'll then be suspended for 3 games.
Death nail.
But yeah, so we don't know, because Bruce Arians has been saying, for weeks now, oh yeah, we might get him back next week. Yeah, he's looking like he's right around the corner and stuff. And so he probably knew that this was coming and has just been pushing it down. And so we don't even know how hurt he is, but we know he's going to miss the next 3 games.
Well,
he's not coming back until the semifinals.
The report before this broke was that he was going to sit for 2 more weeks. Like they had to react.
Injured,
yeah, exactly. Sit for 2 more weeks, and then they got this. For
and now
3,
I think that's BS. And I think that's what it was. Is now what I think happened in terms of the way it played out in the media. And what's actually happening now that the NFL's actually made the announcement is the Bucs have just kind of been waiting in limbo from the NFL. Like, they know this is coming, and they also knew he was hurt, so they were resting him for a while. But they knew there was going to be a convergence at some point. It's like, okay, now we know when we get him back.
And that's why they didn't put him on IR, so that way...
Probably.
Yeah, that's a good point, because they should have had him on IR.
Yeah, but if they put him on IR, then he has to serve IR, then 3 games.
Exactly. So that definitely speaks to your point.
I think this is a 2-touchdown game for Gronk. The Falcons are just terrible. And Brady was obviously looking to Gronk already in the Colts game. I think he had the most targets of any of their receivers. Something like only 10 targets went to receivers in total, something like that, and half of them were to Godwin. So to the guy who we told to trade for Chris Godwin last week, sit tight. He got a 50% target share out of the wide receivers. He'll be good.
And this is his week. I think.
I think so too.
Spoiler alert! I think he's in my lineup.
He might be in mine too. Could be in my DFS lineup. We'll get there at the end. So on the other side of the ball, Cordero Patterson, and that's it. And like
That sums it up.
And it's
I mean, Pitts if you have to, but
I don't want to.
no,
if
you have to.
Yeah,
but
if you have to. And
I mean, you're going to start Pitts over the one touchdown tight ends. I mean, the guys that just the dart throw tight ends. But
yeah.
Other than that, you really don't want to be starting.
If you're somebody like me who's got a Pat Fryermuth because you picked him up, you're starting Pat Fryermuth, or if you've got like I don't know who's another one, like maybe Conklin from Minnesota, you might start Conklin over him.
I wouldn't do that, but I can see why you'd be tempted, but I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, and then after that, that's pretty much it. Like the Falcons don't have a whole lot going on. Matt Ryan has not been playing very well. It's amazing that they've been winning games. Their schedule's been really, really soft, but I really think they're going to get pummeled in this one. I think Tampa Bay is going to score 40-plus points.
Hard to argue with you on that one. I mean, Tampa Bay is definitely needing to get their playoff push going, and Atlanta is not.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because they could. Atlanta has the same record as a lot of teams that are talking about making a playoff push, But, yeah.
Do you guys like that, by the way? Do you like the added playoff spot this year and how much it...
I like it so much that I think it should be in our fantasy league.
You're talking about the 7th one, right?
Yeah.
That was last year, too. They did it last year, too.
Yeah. I like it a lot.
I do, too. I do, too. I just wanted to get your opinion.
I don't like as much the 7th team as I do that there's only one bye.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like a lot of seasons have, you've gotten down to week 15 and 16,
first or second,
and you know who the top 2 teams are. And and a lot of times even like the first team is far enough away from the second team that the second team's not even really chasing them. They're just trying to get healthy.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, okay, we're going to have to go to their place in the championship game, but we're getting a home game and a week off. So what do we really care?
Right.
And they're coasting a little bit. So you get a lot of those 12-4 teams that had better playoff showings because they had a week off and they probably didn't deserve it,
I think for me, it's more like they don't have to. They can take the foot off the gas and not play their better players. They come out there with their jackets on instead of their, which is along the lines of what you say. That's just my one complaint about it.
Yeah, we're gonna get more actual games at the end of the year, less.
More. A lot of them
games.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Everything's gonna be meaningful, and that 7th spot leads a lot to that because now you've got all these teams that are still vying for a spot that normally wouldn't be.
And because of the way the NFL has the schedule set up now, how they close out with division games. Every week 17 is entirely division game.
Love that, by the way.
That's another thing that makes them competitive because even if you have like your 0-14-1, 0-15-1 Detroit Lions, if they're playing Minnesota, I haven't looked ahead at the schedule. Whoever they're playing, and that team is fighting for the one spot to get a week off, even. And this is the worst case scenario, like in terms of like competitiveness. You've got a 14-2 team or something like that playing against them, and like they're trying to get that one spot, So it's still important. It makes it competitive. It's fun. It gives the team with nothing to play for something to play for. They get to be spoiler a little bit.
I love it.
If you guys are watching this a little bit later and not live, even if you are watching this live, but if you're watching it live, you're gonna miss the comment. But if you come back and watch this, go ahead and leave a comment on what you think about our Cowboy fan Kenny wearing a 49ers jersey. So why don't you go ahead and leave a comment on that? He's trying to justify it by saying it's a Deion Sanders jersey, but
but it's okay. So here's the thing. So if we're gonna be doing this though, we got to be like.
So if you guys are listening,
we got to be catering to everybody.
If you guys are listening on,
I was gonna show up in a Merino jersey. Would that have been better?
If you guys are listening on Spotify or iTunes or anything like that, remember that there is a YouTube channel. You can look us up. Look it up. Friday Fantasy Football Talk right now. This is 12/03/2021. Leave your comment on the YouTube channel, and maybe we'll talk about it next one. So
maybe we'll talk about it tonight.
If somebody comes in and makes a comment about it, yeah. Okay, now go ahead and make your case.
Okay.
About wearing another team's jersey. Go ahead.
About wearing another team's jersey, I don't feel like I need to make a case for that. We talked about that.
But
So
you were about to.
Okay, I will make my case for that.
You were about to, right?
There's only one team for which I will not spend money. Like there's only one team I will not invest money into, and that's the Philadelphia Eagles. That's it. and it's because I can't stand their fans, and I'll never forget being, like, I think I was 14 or something like that, and watching Michael Irvin go down, and their fans cheering. Like a guy has a stretcher coming out to pick him up off the turf because he can't move, and their fans are cheering. I'll just never get over that.
And that's up to you.
They haven't gotten any better.
It's a shitty thing, right? That
They
was bad
haven't
sportsman.
gotten any better.
That was bad sportsman.
But that's the thing though, is like, name another city where that happens.
Right.
That they're famous for it. It's their thing.
Exactly,
So,
and they can also be famous for not getting any of my fucking money.
Okay, so to wrap up the Bucks versus Falcons, we're all picking the Bucks that week, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we should put that on the board still, but put it on the board.
So why don't you go ahead and go over Steelers versus Ravens while
Okay.
you're putting that up on the board, Ken?
Sounds good.
Well, Steelers Ravens. Obviously, Steelers are going to somehow pull it out, even though we are completely sucking this year. People are talking about benching Big Ben, which is just heartbreaking. But if we actually had somebody on the bench, I would agree with it at this point. And we're going up against the Ravens. What are they? The number 1 seed in the AFC right now, or number 1, number 2?
Is it illegal to send out like one of those football throwing machines? Could you guys do that? Would you be allowed to do that? Because that'd be an upgrade.
Then Claypool might actually get to catch something.
So, okay, here's the... People are killing Ben, right?
Oh.
But here's what he doesn't get that Brady does get. Protection.
Absolutely.
He has no time. He's he's 39 years old.
I would be making this point if his arm looked like it had any juice left. But doesn't look like he's got the juice.
He doesn't look like Big Ben at 30, but he also doesn't look as bad as Phillip Rivers or Peyton Manning at 39.
Like, honestly, those are pretty good comps at this point. They really are. Like, when he actually completed one to Claypool this last week, and like, it's going to look good on the stat sheet, but it looked horrible in real life.
Yeah, I saw it. He came back.
Like, oh my god!
Yeah, right.
He just can't get the ball to him. But
he's not able to step into any of his throws. A lot of his throws.
That is true.
A lot of his throws, he's making, and when he was 30, he would have made that throw. But
I agree.
He needs time, and they get. There's no time for him to throw. There's no blocking for Najee to run. And we knew this. And people don't. We're 13 weeks into the season, and people are killing Ben about how bad the Steelers' offense is. But they were the worst ranked offensive line by PFF last year and lost their best player. Like, you lost your best offensive lineman. You weren't going to get better.
We reconstructed the line.
Yeah. With people, not with high draft picks. You didn't.
Right.
They were cast-offs from other teams. So they haven't even really begun the
Role
rebuild
players that we thought we
of
could
the
make
offensive
work,
line, and that's the crazy thing to me is the Steelers, like, traditionally that's what they do, is they win up front, like,
agreed,
offensive and
what
defensive
we're known
line
for over the years,
for
right?
decades. Like, I cannot remember a Steelers offensive line that was this bad. I can't.
There were a couple of years during the rebuilding years that you have to look at, but no, I mean, your point is valid. Your point is absolutely valid.
You guys have a lot of pieces from your offensive lines over the years that have spanned eras, and right now you don't have anybody. Like, when you lost Pouncey,
which is crazy because 2 to 3 years ago we were fantastic.
Yes, you were. But when you lost Pouncey, that was the last anchoring piece where you could point to that. That's the guy. That guy's going to lead the group.
Yeah, when he was healthy, he was amazing.
He was very, very good. And then he had two back-to-back, really bad injuries. I think it was an ACL, and then he had some sort of freak, like somebody stepped on his ankle or something like that. Yeah. And the next year it was just really bad. And he retired, right?
Yep.
Yeah. It was really
unfortunately.
Bad. Yeah, and you guys have been unlucky.
As far as the game goes, though, back to the game, I really think this is going to be a defensive struggle. This is going to be a divisional game. The defenses are going to prevail here. Somebody's going to win, 21-13 or
What's the
something
line?
like
What's
that.
the line on this game?
Let's see. Actually, I don't have the spread on this
3.5.
one.
Because
3.5.
you smell that?
What's that?
I smell a bet.
Oh, well, what's the bet? What's the bet?
I smell a bet. I need to know what the line is before I can make the bet.
3.5, isn't it? Did I just
It's 3.5. Oh, Baltimore's going to cover.
Well, as much as I'd love to make that bet, I'll take the under. How about I'll take the under.
What's the over under?
44.
44. So it's
Okay.
a low over under. I'll take
That's
the
fine.
under. Okay.
Yeah.
Under? All right. I'll put
Put it
it
on the board.
All right. Got it.
Oh, you're taking the over
bet.
on this?
Huh? I'm gonna take the over. Yes, I'm gonna
Yeah,
take the
good.
over. And
Go ahead. So my question is then, I'll ask: are we all taking the Ravens on this one?
No, I'm taking the Steelers.
Are you taking the Steelers?
We're
Okay.
going to find a way. I'm not going to bet on it, but I'm going to take them.
Okay, Bryan standing alone. It only took what 15 games.
14.
Bryan standing alone.
all right, so I gave you the points. You wanted the over under. So, do I have to give you the spread too?
Wait, what?
Do I have to give you the spread too?
No, I thought we were not betting on the game. We're betting on the over-under.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Cool.
Okay.
He was giving you the option to double up. man.
No, that's fine. I mean, that just means that Pittsburgh can win the game and I can still win.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Yeah, Pittsburgh doesn't know. Okay, I'll tell you this.
I'll be happy with that outcome, honestly.
100%. Pittsburgh does not win this game without it going over that threshold. There's no way. There's no way they're not
I
going to.
disagree with that. Our defense is coming back together at this point.
Did you watch last week? What are you kidding me?
Everyone's first week
You're coming back
half-
together? How do you figure? How are you going to start? How are you going to stop Lamar Jackson?
All right. I'm willing to make this a double shot bet. On
Okay.
the under. Double shot.
Double shot
Times
on the
two.
under.
Times 2.
Hold on 1 second. 1 second.
Like, this is going to be an under game.
Where is the?
You know, Lamar Jackson's going to go off, right? I wish I could play him as the
We
running
got,
back.
like our defense is ready for Lamar.
It's in Pittsburgh. It's a cold game.
I'm inclined. I don't have any skin in the game, but I'm inclined to think that if you think you're going to win, you think you're going to win. You can hit a times 2.
Man, next week is the night before my son's birthday party. So
What time's your son's birthday party?
it's not until
It's
like,
going to be a rager. I mean,
oh yeah, I
kid's
won't
gonna
go to
be
work
one.
that. You know what? It's fine. We'll do it double.
Times 2. Put it on the board.
So next up, we got the Rams versus Jacksonville, 12.5 according to the internet, and 48.5 for the over/under. I am going to be taking the Rams as a Rams homer, so I'm gonna go ahead and write that in my notes real quick. What do I think is going to happen in this game? I think our opening drive we're going to struggle.
Oh my god!
think we're
Why
gonna-
you think that?
I think the opening drive we're going to struggle. I think if we can avoid a turnover in the first or second drive, we're going to light it up after that.
You're playing the Jaguars. Why are we talking about this game?
Well, because you guys talked about your guys' teams.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. Yeah, no, you didn't. You talked about Bucks versus Falcons. Anyway, I can cut it short. It's not that big of a deal. But yeah, I think if they can get over that, I'm just worried about the first drive, second drive from a confidence level with Matthew Stafford. I want to see like if he's got his confidence back.
Stafford, Goff, is Goff?
Stafford.
What's the difference?
What's the difference?
Wow.
Well,
Wow.
I think with Stafford, I think you can you might be able to chalk up some of what's going on to injury. Even though he said he's perfectly healthy reports have come back that he's had some
I think you're
struggles. Goff doesn't do good in any circumstances ever.
That's not true.
Well, he's never won a game without Sean McVay. So I think it's true.
Well, he does good in those circumstances.
Okay, yeah.
The Sean McVay like circumstances. He
So-
had a pretty good season. He had one good fantasy season.
And
He's
Stafford has been able to win games without Sean McVay, so he's established. So I think there's a big difference. I think a lot of the fan bases out there are acting like that. Like, if you're part of the any of the Rams fan bases, they are complaining. Like, what's the difference at this point between
Because
Stafford
they're mad that they're losing.
and Goff? And that's what it boils down to, right? We
But
lost-
it's not really.
Put a couple wins together, and that all shuts up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The offense is kind of figuring itself out. They lost Robert Woods. Like
and we lost.
That's a really big deal. Robert Woods is a much better player than people like realize.
And we lost Dan
He's
Henderson.
so important to that offense.
And and so it's just,
Does Henderson play this week?
I don't think so. I think it's
no,
Michelle.
I think, yeah, it is Michelle. That's
Yeah.
why I picked him up.
I was going to
because my running backs are terrible this week. Not that it matters, and we'll get there here soon. But yeah. So are you guys also picking the Rams in? Is that safe to say?
Rams cover over all of that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think like
I don't think anybody's gonna.
this is
going to
be one of those games that where like people get like all amped up about the Rams again. Oh yeah, they're fine. And, we'll see. Like I told you, I don't think they're that good. I think they're a wild
Jacksonville?
card. No, the Rams. I think the Rams are a wild card round team.
I think we're gonna find out in the next.
Like they
couple
go
weeks.
out in the wild card round?
Yeah,
Ooh.
Like they lose they're in the playoffs, but they lose.
yeah,
Okay.
in the wild card round, I think so.
Okay, so
It's a little early, but
What
I
are the
might bet
next-
on that.
what are the next 3 matchups, Ken? What are the next 3?
So I get to pick. So I'm up, right? I get to draft. It's my pick.
I don't care if you just assign them. To be honest,
Oh,
so you know what I mean. Just
you watch no.
no. Yeah, I know, but I mean, unless there's a particular game you guys know you're gonna watch, you're like, you know what?
Well, that's what I'm
watching-
saying. Is like
I don't
just
have any this week.
Picking the games that we want to watch.
Throw out the next 3,
so
so we
that-
can talk about who we want to watch.
Well, the next game I want to watch is going to be the Raiders and Redskins. Raiders and Washington football team. Excuse me. Sorry. I don't want to get us banned. So
What?
I
Give
want-
us give it 2 more teams that me and Bryan can sort out real quick. So while you're talking about it, we could be doing some subtle research.
Colts, Texans, and then what else?
I'll
do we
get
have?
Cardinals Bears.
And then Cardinals Bears. There you go. That's a good one. That's gonna be an interesting game.
Yeah, I like that one.
Okay, throw out 2 other teams. Because I don't want to watch the Colts. So
Eagles, Jets.
I don't have any of those players either. Okay, sorry. Who is it? Cardinals playing Bears?
Giants, Dolphins. No, Vikings, Lions. There you go. You can watch the Vikings, Lions.
Yeah, I guess I'll watch that one.
All right. So, I'd really like to see the Raiders win this game. I don't like this is the most coin flippy game.
First of all,
of the weekend to me.
Can you give us?
Did we pick the last game? We didn't pick the last game.
We
Actually,
didn't put them up.
We didn't put the last.
So Steelers versus Ravens.
I picked the Ravens.
I'll put it up here.
Bryan standalone Steelers, and then Rams versus Jacks.
Oh, hey, you got your standalone pick, and then we all are taking the Rams over the Jaguars. Okay, so yeah, the Washington football team is finally starting to give Antonio Gibson all of the work that I hope he would get when I traded Austin Eckler and DJ Moore to get Josh Allen and Antonio Gibson. He's finally starting to look like CMC 2.0. He's had 30-plus touches in three straight games now. And they've won all 3 of those games. So I have a strong feeling that he's going to have a 4th straight 30-plus touch game. And this one's going to be a monster game because the Raiders' rush defense is terrible.
Yeah, but they've also lost a lot of. Well, maybe I'm wrong on this because I don't really follow Washington, but I don't think they have a really good running back stud right now.
No, they do.
Who?
Gibson. Antonio Gibson is a stud.
Who's got
I
Antonio
agree
Gibson
with
in our league? You do? Okay, so then you'd know about it. Okay, so
Had him last year too.
what is the what's the spread? What's the over under on this game?
So that's like I said, coin flip game. The over under is 49.5, which I think they're going to clear the over, and the line is Vegas by 1.
1 to who?
Vegas by 1.
What does that mean? Vegas by 1.
Meaning,
Oh, Raiders.
Yeah, the Raiders.
I was thinking like Vegas betting. Like my mind went to Vegas betting. So I was like,
Man,
That was good.
maybe not tequila next time.
Brings out our best.
Or yeah, does it? I don't know. We'll find
hey,
out.
you
Like,
know, for a long time,
I'm gonna watch it again
when
after we're
people
done, so.
refer to Vegas, a lot of time they refer to the betting.
Yes,
right?
no, absolutely.
And
I see where your head was at. I get it.
It takes a while to get used to talking about Vegas, and you're talking about the football team. You know,
or any professional team. You know, I mean, they're collecting professional teams right now, and kudos to them. I think Vegas is a very good spot.
and their
to have
hockey team
professional-
won a title already, didn't they?
I don't
Golden
know if
Knights?
they won or if they just made it to the finals, but they did great.
I know they got there.
I think they got there. I don't think they won it.
I think I just saw our concurrent viewers go to negative for talking about hockey. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, sorry guys. Anyway, so yeah, Vegas. I think they're gonna hit the over. I think the Raiders are gonna win the game, and I don't. 1 point. Yes, they're gonna cover. I hate when Vegas does that. It's because they just don't want to.
Are we talking about Vegas now? Vegas? Or are we?
I hate when Vegas betting. Yeah, that's funny.
I feel like this game, it's really hard to go over under on this one. I feel like these games this kind of game could go either way as far as the over under.
I think it's gonna be a high score.
But I like Washington. I like Washington in this one.
Oh, you're picking. You're picking the football team.
I'm picking the football
You're picking
team.
the football team. All right, I picked the Raiders. Where are you at?
I'm at the Raiders.
Okay, so you're on your own.
All right, let me put it up.
Two
there.
standalone
Two
games.
standalone games. All right,
Round of applause
big
for
boy.
Bryan.
Oh, you gonna put it in brown again?
Why do you like Brown so much?
Yeah.
Starts with a B with Bryan.
That's good.
So we got.
So I think so. Before we move on, Derek Carr is my favorite streaming quarterback this week.
I have a story about Derek Carr. You want to hear it?
No.
Okay.
Moving on.
I don't have to share it.
Yeah, no. Why wouldn't I want to hear it?
Okay, so and then this is more of a. This is whenever I tell this story with people, they look down on me, right? So, tell me when.
Okay, that's good.
So I gotta. Okay, I've been a diehard Rams fan for a long time. Okay, long time, my whole life. I love the Rams, and my most of my life they've been losers. Right, they haven't really won games, and so it's like I've watched the Rams in LA, I watched the Rams in St. Louis, and then I watched the Rams back in LA. Like you know what I mean? There's something about loyalty to me that's very important to me. You know, if you've shown me
Even
loyalty,
when they're not loyal to you?
huh?
Even when they're not loyal to you?
So it comes from like even from friendships and stuff like that. Like if I have loyal friends,
For
and, like,
sure.
loyalty is like one of the top qualities that you can show somebody. You know, and so I had a buddy I met later on in life, right? And we went to a Rams versus Raiders game. Diehard, you know, Rams fan. Like I thought he was a diehard Rams fan. Right? We went and watched the Rams shut out the Raiders in Oakland. I forget what the score was, but we went to one of the games where the Rams shut out the Raiders. And we just stopped talking for a while, right? And that happens sometimes in friendships. You know, you just life gets to you, and it's not like you mean to do it, but you just don't talk. There's nothing you're not holding anything against one another. You're just busy with life and life struggles and everything that comes into play with that. But then we kind of started talking again one day. We started playing games, and we're playing games with one another. And I brought it up, man. How about them Rams, dude? Like, yeah. And goes, actually, bud, you know, I'm more of a Raiders fan now. Right? And my stomach just turned, dude, because it just kind of showed me something. The dude's still a cool dude. You know, I got nothing against him except for the fact that he switched football teams because Derek Carr went to Fresno State and so did he. So now he's a Raiders fan. And I'm just like, you want to talk about somebody loving you back. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, to me, and this is the part where it gets controversial, right? I can respect somebody more for switching religions than I could for switching football teams.
Wow. Bold statement, sir.
Because with religion,
You can learn new information.
you can learn new information. So it's switching football teams more speaks to me about the kind of loyalty you have than switching a religion, right? So I stopped playing video games with them.
Man, so another real quick aside on that note was I got a bunch of crap in high schools. I've been a Cowboys fan for 30 years, and you're giving me crap for the Deion Sanders jersey.
Well, and tell us why. I mean, we're kind of telling stories as to why our team. So tell us why.
Why am I wearing this one?
No. Why you're a Dallas fan?
Oh, man, it's so I remember being forced to watch football when it was a punishment, and it didn't work, because it was like, oh, this is awesome. Why haven't I been sitting down to watch this anyway?
Right.
And so and I was like 7 years old, and my dad came up with that punishment. You're just going to sit right here while I watch Monday Night Football. And it was the year that it was 91, the year the Redskins went 15-1 or something like that. They just destroyed everybody. And so being a little kid, thought I was a Redskins fan. And the next season rolls around, and on Monday Night Football for week 1, they played the Cowboys in Dallas, and Dallas just rolled them. And there was just there was something about the star in the helmet. It was just that, not gonna lie, it was the star on the helmet. And but then after that, in learning about the history of the game, there was something about them. They were, because for a lot of people who don't know, who are younger fans, the Cowboys were the Patriots before the Patriots. Like, everybody hated them. They won every fucking year. It did, every single year.
I still hate them because of those years. Yes.
and there was a brief break where they were bad in the 80s, and then they went through a real quick turnover. They robbed the Minnesota Vikings, the Great Train Robbery is what they call that trade for Herschel Walker, and the Cowboys built a dynasty again off of one trade, basically. And learning about all of that stuff that's why.
Very cool.
It was, being a Cowboys fan, when I became a Cowboys fan, was like becoming a Patriots fan after Tom Brady had already won 6 Super Bowls.
Right. And the fact that you're 7 years old and they're starting to win, and
Yeah, and I became a fan right away, when I saw them, and I watched, and so it was really cool because I got to watch all 3 of those Super Bowl victories as a fan who was on the edge, didn't know if they were going to win, didn't know anything. I was a little kid,
right?
So that was really fun. But anyway, what I was gonna say was that huge Cowboys fan, right? Already established. But I'm a big football fan, so I also watched a lot of college football back in the day too, and I'm a huge Florida State fan. Deion Sanders also Florida State.
Right.
And the guy that was my favorite player was Warrick Dunn. Warrick Dunn's still one of my favorite players of all time. And when he made it to the NFL and got to the Bucks, they changed their jerseys that year from the creamsicle ones to the Pirates and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, man, those jerseys are awesome. And Warrick Dunn was my favorite player, so I got both of them. I got the red one and the white one, and I would wear them all the time. And I would get so much crap for having switch teams. And it's like, no, this is my guy.
Right.
So what Kenny's saying is he's a fan of players.
Yes, I am more of a fan. I'm a diehard Cowboys fan, but I'm also a fan of players. So I will easily wear a player's jersey who plays for another team.
Gotcha.
No problem. Unless he plays for the Eagles.
I do have one comment.
So one jersey, another jersey I won't wear is Deshaun Jackson.
I do have one comment
Can't stand
after
that
that.
As a football player, don't know him as much.
Kenny's explanation, and that is, I don't think, and this would be a long-term bet, I don't think that the Cowboys will win another Super Bowl until after Jerry Jones dies.
Well, then you must think that he's going to die very soon.
I don't know when he's going to die. He's a billionaire with a lot of money.
Brian saw where I was going with that.
Yep.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. You're saying they're going to win soon.
This year.
No. Not until after he dies.
No, they'll win this year.
Can
Maybe
we put that on
Jerry
the board?
Jones would be fucking dead.
Sure.
I'll put that on the board.
Like I'm down.
Yeah?
No. I love our team this year.
So Super Bowl.
Like,
so you're betting.
So I'll tell you,
not
there's
against
only
the-
one team I'm worried about, and you won't. And, like, you probably won't guess who they are. One team. There's only one team that can beat the Cowboys this year.
There's so
Packers?
many. I'm having
It's
trouble.
the Packers.
Okay. So
First of all, it's because Aaron Rodgers owns the Cowboys. Like he just does. Like he is their daddy.
well, I think Aaron Rodgers knows how to beat every team.
He's just, but it
doesn't always happen, but he knows how to beat every team.
I've watched him play a lot of football, and I've watched him play a lot of bad football too. Like he'll go through spurts where he plays bad football. Every time he plays against the Cowboys, he's fucking perfect. Dude.
So-
He's just so good.
So the bet is Cowboys to win Super Bowl this year, right?
Yeah, that was one of them. Like we were talking about the Raiders and Washington football team game, and I started talking about Derek Carr being a streamer, just so that we remember where we were actually at in time.
Yeah, but a bet came.
But a bet came up.
proposed.
We can put like
Cowboys to win the Super Bowl.
Cowboys. I'm gonna put that one in blue. We'll put that one on the bottom.
Yeah, and then do a times 3.
Times 3.
I'm willing to put it down times 3.
I'm down.
So, who, just out of curiosity, who do you think on the AFC side is going to end up in the Super
The
Bowl?
AFC side of the week. Like I thought they were better.
No, who do you think is going to end up in the Super Bowl?
I don't know. It's hard to say. Honestly, it's hard. How am I going to pick against the Patriots right now? Like,
Oh, that's right.
We're gonna-
Patriots or Bills.
we're gonna find out on Sunday. I think.
I still think Kansas City.
I don't.
There too.
I don't.
Nah,
And
Kansas
we'll
City.
find out this week for sure. But like, they've been playing good football all of a
Kansas
sudden.
City.
Here's what I think
That
is.
defense is all of a sudden
I
coming
think
together.
5 years from now, we can remember this year as the year that Patrick Mahomes really turned into Brett Favre 2.0.
You think
What do you
Brett
mean by
Favre is
Their career arcs, they're so similar to me.
okay?
And their play styles are so similar. Like when Brett Favre started doing what he was doing, like if you remember the commentary and the analysis of a lot of the things where he's not supposed to be throwing those balls. He's not supposed to be doing that.
Okay.
That guy is not open. But he did it because
Brett Favre was
he was a special
gunslinger.
talent. He was a special talent. It wasn't just that. It was his arm was so much better than everybody else's arm that he could just do it. And Patrick Mahomes, for the first couple of years, like he's really just dazzled people with his ability to throw from different arm angles, to throw like no look passes. Do all
Look people off.
a lot
right,
of
right.
cowboy stuff. A lot, like when I say, because the Baltimore game this year, the game sealing interception was a no look pass. He fucking just flung the
Right.
ball, and it's like
And he still should have.
Aaron Rodgers doesn't do that. Tom Brady doesn't do that. Like
Agreed. I think after that Mahomes doesn't do that either because he's
he
had
still
a talking
does.
to.
He's
He's had a no look pass since then. That was the
you
last
know
one
who
I've
else?
seen.
You know who quarterbacked Brett Favre?
Wait, what?
You know who quarterbacked Brett Favre? The quarterback's coach for Brett Favre? was?
Oh, okay.
Coach.
I was like,
Okay,
what the fuck?
what?
Excuse me,
What's he talking
coach.
about?
You know, coach.
Confused.
You know who put the quarterback into Brett Favre?
Okay, tell me.
Andy Reid.
Okay.
He couldn't rein in Brett Favre. Makes you think he's going to rein in Patrick Mahomes, who's making fucking $400 million. The guy, like, that's the thing about all these players. They make more than the coaches do.
For sure.
So it's
I'd be able to rein him in.
okay. Like, hey, excuse me, Mr. Mahomes, can I have a word with you? Hold on, coach. I've got I gotta handle this interview. Then
Commercial shoot.
Yeah, I got this shot I gotta take. ESPN's doing an interview. I'll get. I got 5 minutes between 10:45 and 10:50. Because like he's making 5 times what Andy Reid's making.
Yeah.
Like so how many times have you shown up to work and looked at anybody who's making fucking a fifth of what you're making and been like, I really need to watch out for that guy. That guy could end me.
I think a lot of people do that.
I think the coach-player dynamic is a little different than that.
At first, it is. At first, I think
there's
it's
probably a little of that.
It's a lot like father-son, I would imagine. But then he goes from being the guy who's trying to get his contract to being the guy who got his contract.
I think a lot of people might do that with Bill Belichick. I think a lot of players might worry about him, even though they're making more money than him.
They don't.
I mean,
they don't. And even at his highest, Tom Brady only made marginally more.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. As far
you realize that's the biggest difference between the Patriots and all the other organizations is that the Patriots don't have players that make more than their coach. They don't, and he's the GM.
Right. Yeah. Well, and that makes a big difference there. You know,
typically that doesn't work.
Ultimate power.
Typically that doesn't work.
No, I agree.
He makes
with that,
it work.
But I'm just saying that gives him a little bit more power than most, and I think maybe a little more respect than most, and plus what he's been doing.
What is that?
I'm trying to say, let's get to the next one.
Back on topic.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. We're off
drifting.
Topic now. Come on. Oh, we're drifting.
If I wanted to say it out loud, I'd say it out loud. Obviously, don't.
You could just say it out loud. Be rude. It's fine. We're the Rudecast.
So, Cardinals versus Bears. That is on Bryan. Bryan was the spread, the over/under.
Well, actually, spread and over/under. I'm going to need help on that. I've got ESPN up here, and they don't have that. But
I guess we can.
Cardinals are definitely.
I got it. If the over/under is 42.5.
Thank you.
And the spread is Arizona by 7.5.
That's a low
I've been picking
over/under
first,
for the
so I'm going to let you guys pick first this time. Someone else pick first.
I'm going Cardinals.
I think everybody's going Cardinals, but that's an easy one there. But
Bryan's going Cardinals as well.
The fantasy implications. Is Kyler playing for sure? It sounds like he is, but if he is, are you putting him in your lineup?
No.
I started Taysom Hill over.
I saw, and I thought that was a good call. I thought that was a good call, and I was like, I saw.
Who are you going with?
Who
are you going with?
I'm actually really wanting to take the Bears. This is
Are you going to make that official?
The Bears are at home.
Is that an official statement?
The starting temperature of the game is going to be 40 degrees.
Who's their quarterback?
Vegas.
Let him pick. Fuck. You trying to influence them the other way? Let him be standalone.
Just asking a question.
I'm gonna take the Cardinals.
Okay. See what you did there. See what you did.
Damn logic.
We almost had him. All right. So you pick the next game, Ray.
Okay, so are we done talking about the Cardinals?
There's nothing to talk about in that game. There's nothing to talk about.
There's not much on the Bears side. I mean, Mooney, Montgomery is worth a marginal start. I mean,
okay, so you're not
happy about it.
You're starting Mooney
in there.
You're starting Montgomery. You're not happy about starting Montgomery. You're happy about starting Mooney. And like every week that goes by, I get happier to talk about Darnell Mooney. Actually, so like we can.
Okay, the next game up, we got the Vikings versus Lions. I'm going to be going with the Vikings. See how I did that there? Like how I threw that out there when I announced it. All right, so we got 7.5 as the spread, 46.5 as the over/under. I don't think the Lions don't have Swift.
Swift is not supposed to play.
Swift is officially out.
Jamal Williams.
I don't think they're going to meet the
week.
over/under. Or I think it's going to be under 46.5.
I don't.
Unless the Vikings really tear it up.
I think the Vikings are going to.
You think? I'm trying to figure out if there's somebody who can score points on the Lions other than Swift.
Fantasy points? So
any points? No, I'm talking about real points. We're talking over/under. We're talking about real points.
No,
exactly. So you're saying the Vikings are going to score 47 points? Is that what you're saying?
I think the Lions can score 13.
I don't know if they can. Man.
I think they're going to do better than that. They'll come close.
So you guys both think you guys are both picking the over on this?
I'm going to pick the over and the Vikings to cover.
I don't feel super strong on the over/under, but if you force me, I'd take the over, and Vikings for sure.
So I'm going to write the last two.
But you're not picking the over/under?
If we're going to do that, I'd take the over, but I don't feel strongly about that.
So you and Kenny are both think over on that?
You want to take a bet or what?
That's kind of where I'm leaning, right? Because I'm the only one that hasn't initiated a bet yet so far.
Ken feels strongly about this one. Why don't you go ahead and do this one with Ken?
Well, since it's 2 against 1, that's kind of why I want to do it.
Right? Oh, okay. I gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Take the odds.
That sounded kind of dirty. But
So are we all taking the Vikings on this one?
yes, but you guys both think over on it, and I'm thinking under. And I'm wondering if you want to bet on that.
Oh. Well, I've
Times
got that
1
already, so I'll let you take him up on the bet. On this
Well, I mean, that one we're not going to know till the end of the fucking year. That's a long-term bet, right? This bet we'd know
He
by the
wanted
end of next
odds
week.
on this one. He wanted to go against both of us on this.
Oh, okay.
Because you guys are both picking the over.
He takes 2 shots if he loses?
Makes sense.
I didn't think of it in that term. You guys are going to split the shots up?
No, we'll each take 1 if we lose. But that means that there's 2 shots to be out. So, I mean, if you want to be...
Okay, so that didn't go exactly the way I planned. However, since we're at my place and I have nowhere to drive, I'll take that bet.
I love it. I love
Put
it.
it on the board!
For 2-1.
Yeah.
I'll put it on. It's your turn to do a team here, right? Or a game?
Yeah.
We don't have the next 3.
And then, the best game available is definitely the Chargers-Bengals.
Are these so Chargers Bengals are up next? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, the Chargers Bengals is going to be the next game that I'll be paying attention to. The line is Cincinnati by 3, and the over under is 49.5.
How much is the over under?
49.5. I think they're going to hit the over on this thing.
Sorry to interrupt. Minnesota Detroit was the over under
46.
For what game?
46.5.
Yeah. Lions, 46.
Thank you, sir.
And I'm just going to throw that out in there. I'm picking the Bengals. Who are you picking?
Oh, I'm going to pick the Bengals too.
Okay.
How about you, Ryan? You want a lone wolf on the Chargers?
Ooh, Bengals, Chargers. Sorry, I was writing. Who's at home?
Bengals.
Yeah, I'll take the Chargers.
Nice.
He's a dead man. He's playing catch up on the standalone games.
So the Chargers' rush defense is worse than the Raiders' rush defense. And the Bengals over the last month have decided that it's a better idea to just give the ball to Joe Mixon than to try and have Burrow throw deep passes to Jamar Chase. Because teams have started to figure that out a little bit. It's been kind of like it's actually super interesting in this game. There's a quarterback receiver connection on both sides. It's just kind of been DOA after being super hot at the beginning of the year. Like Jamar Chase is still the number 6 receiver in full PPR on the year, and he hasn't finished in the top 15 in a month.
Yeah, he had an amazing start, and then people got film on him, and now he's got to work a little harder.
And his quarterback. It's not just him; it's his quarterback, because Burrow started making mistakes. Burrow started throwing more interceptions, and that's why they started running the ball more. And that's worked out for your team, Joe Mixon owners. And on the other side, Herbert and Mike Williams. Like, man, Herbert and Mike Williams were just lighting it on fire. Like, I felt so stupid not getting Mike Williams on my roster because he was one of the
first 3 weeks.
He was one of the guys that I targeted, late rounds and stuff like that. And just to miss out on him, I felt really bad. And now, it's like, oh, that's fine. I'm glad he's not on my roster now. I'm glad I don't have to go through the week after week. Oh, God, I have to start this guy.
Didn't kill you for the last 9 or 10 weeks.
It's been bad for 6. I think it's. I want to say it's 6 straight weeks of no more than 6 targets.
Okay,
and it's hard to make a living that way. So I wouldn't want to start Mike Williams. Like, I would rather, honestly, before starting Mike Williams, I'd start any of the 3 Bengals receivers. And if I was going to pick one of the Bengals receivers to start, it would actually be Higgins.
Ooh. Can we put that on the board? I'll take Chase over Higgins.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you looked at the stats of the last month?
Yeah.
why I don't get why you two do that.
Huh? What?
You guys try to convince each other out of the bet before the bet's like solidified. I would solidify the bet and then rub it in. You know what I mean? But you guys don't do it that way. I don't get it. It's like
it's because we're not going to convince each other anyway.
You got him on the ropes,
No,
man.
we're not.
Solidify the contract and then rub it in his face.
That's right. So what are we betting on though? What's the actual bet?
Fantasy points, our league scoring.
That we're talking about the single week.
Yeah.
That T. Higgins will outscore Jamar Chase.
Right. That's what you claimed. I was just throwing a prove it out there.
Hold on.
He wants you to put your money where your mouth is. Put your alcohol where your mouth is.
Hold on.
Look, are you gonna go this whole convincing thing? Okay, so while Kenny's doing that,
All right.
I would like to. I forgot where I should have wrote a note on this.
You should have.
I just
We
want
should've
to
got
mention
notepads.
that this is 2 weeks in a row that we've been able to do this, so we should kind of tilt our hats to that, and then we're going to continue to try to do that and bring you guys fantasy every Friday. Again, if you're listening on YouTube or Spotify, or I'm sorry, if you're listening on the podcast format like iTunes or Spotify, you can come out to the YouTube channel and leave your comments so we can maybe brush up on some of those comments that you guys leave on the following week. Kenny, at some point, we're going to need you to give us another 2 games.
Yeah, no problem. I'll take that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got a bet on the board.
All right.
So, stat about T. Higgins
Is going to outscore Chase.
Yeah, in games this season where T. Higgins has 6 targets, his low watermark is 7.5 points. So he's just not killing you ever. And he finally got in the end zone. I think that was his first score inside of 20 yards or something like that. Because he's kind of a deep threat, but I like him a lot.
You guys are just doing one shot on that?
I think at this point in his career, he's a more refined receiver than Jamar Chase is. I think Jamar Chase was lighting the world on fire early in the year, and now he's going to struggle for the rest of the year. He'll be better next year.
No, for sure. I honestly agree with your overall point, but I think Chase is just a good 70-30 to beat him in stats, so I got to take that bet.
Well, in the last month, he's not.
I hear you.
And it's not that close. So I feel pretty confident. So these are
I like it.
So these are Chase's outputs over the last month, starting in week 8, 13 against the Jets, 8.9 against Cleveland, 13 against Vegas, 6.9 against Pittsburgh. And before that were the monster games. Like he scored 34 the week before that against Baltimore. And then for T. Higgins, you don't have the ceiling that you have.
This last week was his only real game so far this year. And
you're talking about Higgins?
Yeah.
No, Higgins started
as a top 15 was
Higgins
last
started the season with 15.8 against Minnesota and 16 against Chicago. And then he missed a couple weeks, and then he was hurt. So he was coming back from that, and he had 10 against Green Bay, and then the low game was 7.5 against Detroit. But then after that, 13 against Baltimore, 13.7 against New York, 13.8 against Cleveland. The only bad game that he has this year, and he only had 3 targets because they completely ran over Vegas. And so only 3.5 against Vegas, and then 23.4 against Pittsburgh last week. So he just gets it done. He just turns targets into points.
Can
We'll
you?
see. Yeah, no, he's talented.
Kenny, real
We'll see.
quick. I'm going to have to cut this through this conversation. Can you give us the next 2 games, please?
Giants, Dolphins,
What is the other one?
and the Eagles, Jets.
Which one do you want?
I'll watch the Eagles just because it'll piss off Kenny here.
Why?
Yeah.
What, to talk about him?
Just because you hate him so much.
I hate him so much.
That's what I'm saying.
I do.
I'll watch that one. Why not?
I hate him.
What was it? Miami what?
So
Dolphins
I
what?
called that last week.
Dolphins
by the way.
what? Dolphins what?
Dolphins Giants.
Okay.
So which one are we talking about first?
We're gonna, and if we go in the order, we're going with Eagles versus Jets.
Okay.
And what's the spread and what's the over under?
It's Eagles by 7, and the over under is 45. Man, this is This is a terrible game.
Fucking
I agree.
We don't know if
Eagles for sure.
I mean, I'm talking about fan. Really, I'm picking the Jets.
good.
I'm torn. I really am
Because
torn.
that's how bad.
Why don't you go Jets then, since you're torn?
I'm pretty sure the Eagles.
I need a standalone game here,
I hear you, but I'll take the 7-point favorite on that one.
which is the
He's
Eagles.
gonna take the Eagles. I'm gonna take the Jets. So I'm gonna stand alone. I'll take the Jets. Oh, we didn't get. Did we get the last game up there?
Cincinnati, yeah, it's up there.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So we don't. If Jalen Hurts doesn't play, that line's gonna shift between. If they announce that
Is that really a possibility? I thought Hurts was pretty definite to play. Let me.
I
vet
don't
that.
know. Yeah, I'm not sure on that right now. And even if he does, he was really, really, really bad last week, and they're playing in the same stadium.
Okay, Brian. So why don't you give us a little rundown on the Eagles versus Jets, please?
Sorry, I was looking up Hurts
course
here
you
to
were.
see how hurt he is. Yeah, a little more iffy than I thought. Okay, actually, that definitely changes a little bit to where I can see why Kenny's taking the Jets there.
So are you going to go with the Jets? Or are you changing
No.
your mind? Oh,
No. No, I still like it.
Still get the lone wolf?
The Jets just have no run defense, and
It's
the
looking
Eagles
bad
are
for me right now.
discovering their running game right now. And so, I mean, how can you bet on the Jets? Ugh, it's
just in
hard to
general,
do.
right?
Yeah,
Because
it's just
they're
Even
hard
if
to
they were
do.
playing against Jacksonville,
Because they're
it's
playing
kind
the
of
Eagles.
And Zach Wilson is the
They're
quarterback.
playing the Eagles.
Yeah.
And also, I have Elijah
I'm
Moore.
going to take the Eagles.
I have Elijah Moore, so I need Elijah Moore to score me some points.
And we don't really have much
Because
more
Zeke
to
put
say.
me in a
about
hole. God damn it, Zeke.
that. Fuck that guy, huh?
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, I hope he breaks his leg.
Me too. No, so I went. The guy who runs the jersey shop here in town.
Yeah.
He's a huge Cowboys fan too. So every time I go in there, we talk about the Cowboys, what just happened, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, man, I wish they'd give him a rest. I wish they just give him a break. And I was like, they can't. And he's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, Pollard looks better. And it's like, yeah, but you notice that on all the important plays, like all the really important plays where they might pass, Zeke is in the game. And the reason for that is because he's the best pass blocker at running back in the game today. Like it's not close.
So that right there,
that's why they won't sit him.
that right there is like one of those nuggets details that outside being a Cowboys fan, you might notice. I didn't fucking know that, and I wouldn't have put that together. But you being a Cowboys fan, you notice those subtle differences, right? And so I think that's what makes the difference when you're looking at your homer team versus looking at other teams. I wouldn't have fucking known that.
I try to do that for other teams too,
But you just
it
don't,
takes,
right?
it takes a little more because the thing is
Right.
like I already know all the guy, like we were talking last week and I was telling you about the offensive line change that they made. I already know all the guys on the roster. Knowing the guys that are on the roster and what they can and can't do, yes, and it's easier to do that with your favorite team than it is with any other team. So I guess that's a really good fantasy nugget right there. Is like last week I started Cedric Wilson, and I was we were talking about that, and there probably not a whole lot of non-Cowboy fans that did that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
know your team, your team, and when you know that someone on your team is going to have a good game, whether fantasy experts are talking about it or not, play that guy. If you know he's going to have a good game, play him.
Yeah.
And like last night, I tried to get my hands on Michael Gallup. I had a waiver claim in to get Michael Gallup to drop the Tampa Bay defense, but because of the way that the league is set up, I couldn't get him. And I was going to start him last night.
I can see that. I had him in DFS, so I know.
You had to feel good. Yeah.
Okay, so next
game?
up we got.
So we're done on Eagles Jets. Like I'm lone wolfing on the Jets, right?
Yeah, and I'm trying to think
put
of,
that one up there.
of
Let me
any
put that one up.
mystery nuggets to say about this game. But I mean, like, is there anybody that you're really like itching to play from this game? And my answer is no.
Dallas
Yeah.
Goddard. I doubt like it. Okay,
Yeah, I mean,
if Hurts plays,
I'd play him over Pitts.
If Hurts plays, I think Hurts and Goddard are the two players that are going to shine from the game in points. So the Eagles are good in pass defense. I'm really interested to see what they do against Elijah Moore because he moves a lot. He plays inside and he plays outside, and Darius Slay is an outside corner. He doesn't really travel inside too much. So that's an interesting matchup to see. But other than that, that's it.
Yeah. Like I say, it's hard to talk about the Philly passing game as long as Hurts is the quarterback.
What
honestly.
Philly passing game?
No, that's what I'm saying. As long as Hurts is the quarterback.
There's no Philly passing game. No.
I'm done. All right, what's the next game?
You hold on real quick.
Yeah.
There's no Philly passing game because they do things like draft Jalen Reagor 1 pick in front of Justin Jefferson. Take that, Eagles fans.
You're
you
saying that's a
fucking
mistake?
suck. You Eagles fans out there, you fucking suck. Your team is garbage.
I love how you just do that. You're just picking a fight with Eagles fans. Because, with the way social media and all that stuff goes on right now, so many people are afraid to pick fights, and I'm just like, yeah, let's jab each other, And behind the scenes, you guys, we talk like we're text messaging each other, and Kenny's a dear friend of mine, but I still love picking on the guy as much as I can, and so like we get that, that kind of stuff. I'm like, I try not to pass up a chance to jab at him. You know what I mean, kind of thing.
So to me, there's a difference between like razzing somebody and bullying somebody.
Oh yeah,
for sure,
And
for sure.
In 2021, we seem to have like gone completely to if it's negative at all, you're being a bully, and you need to stop.
Yeah, you should hear my girls come home from elementary school and just the stuff they spout. I'm just like, girls, just toughen up a little bit. You know what I mean?
Toughen up a little.
Get a little bit of thick skin.
The things that they complain about. First world problems.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's really-
yeah,
it's problem.
only in America.
Only in America. Yeah, seriously.
and I tried to pick on. Do you want another beer?
I do.
I try to pick on my kids just enough. You know what I mean, to kind of toughen them up a little bit. Hopefully this one's still.
So I am on that note. Side note from fantasy football and such. I am like right at the point right now, like where I'm starting to treat my son like a little man. Rather than
let me ask you something.
A baby.
Let me ask you something.
Because he's hold on. I just wanted to get this out real quick.
Get it out.
Because he's throwing tantrums. Mm-hmm. And it's easy, because I spent so much time with him. It's easy for me to tell the difference between a tantrum and when he's actually suffering or he's hungry or something. He needs something, And so I'm having to do things like, no. Just tell him no. You're gonna sit there for a second, right. and let him cry and scream and let him it's and while I'm doing that, I'm thinking to myself like this is like it's difficult to do because it's just like it would just be easier to get him to stop crying or whatever by just
give him what he wants.
Give him what he wants.
Yep.
Figure out what he wants and give him what he wants. But then I think years down the line, it's like, well, am I just going to be always giving him what he wants all the time?
So
and I don't want to, and so I don't want to turn him into that person, the person who's like every single little thing that didn't go right is just the worst thing that ever happened because he doesn't know how to deal with his own problems.
So I think alongside with that,
Thanks, Tony.
That's like a dad's role, right? If we're segueing into this, just like for just a moment, we're segueing. Sorry, everybody who's just like, I don't care about raising kids, but just to segue in a moment, I think that's the dad's role, right? To kind of toughen them up a little bit. And the question I was going to ask you, because your son, is he walking yet?
Yeah, he should be.
He's not yet. Okay. So my question was going to be, have you tripped him yet? Right?
No. You said you tripped him yet?
Yes. Because there's going to be times where they're running around across the house and you're going to stick your foot out.
Okay, yeah.
And he's going to trip over your foot, right? And then it's just one of those things that dads do. You know what I mean? They just fucking run right. Have you ever tripped your kids? You have girls, right?
Yeah, I have girls.
So it's a little different.
It's a little different.
Yeah. I don't have the guy mentality, man. My girls, like, if I tripped one of my girls, they just look at me like, why? You know?
But as a toddler, when they're learning that stuff, did you ever trip them? As a dad, did you ever trip them as they ran by you?
I definitely played with them, so maybe.
He's like,
I mean,
probably did.
That's probably true.
But anyway, yeah, and that's something you just do with toddlers, right? They're running by you, they're going back and forth, and you just kind of chuck your foot out there.
Yeah, you know,
and they learn something from that.
And
he's,
he's a good faller. He puts his hands down, and I say that because I've got a nephew who's 6 who's split his chin twice this last year, and all he really needed to do was put his hands down.
Right? They got to learn how to fall.
Yeah.
They got to learn how to fall.
I swear to God, like he was probably about 7 months old, maybe, when he was standing up and and actually fell.
Yeah.
And he put his hands down, and I was like, yes.
I mean, you're obviously not.
I was like, oh, I would, because if he had just fallen and smacked his face on the ground, I'd have been like, oh God, I have to watch him all the time.
You're obviously not going to trip your kids.
I'm never going to be able to
rocks,
turn my back on this kid because he could fall on his face and die. But like the first time I actually watched him fall, he instinctively put his hands down, and not every kid does that. Not every kid's good at doing that. So I was real proud of that.
One of the things my father taught me was how to fall, when to stick your hands out,
when not to.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And I carried that a lot. He would tell me, if you're falling forward and if you're gonna stick your hands out, you need to turn your hand so you fall
onto the
with
momentum.
the form. If you fall like this, you can snap your wrist.
Yeah,
falling forward on top of it, and it just stuck with me. But anyway. Going on, we got Dolphins versus Jets. Can you give me the
Dolphins
spread?
Giants.
Okay.
So we got Miami by 6 is what Vegas has, and the over under is a whopping 39.5 points. Ooh. This is an awkward over under to me because
because the Dolphins can run the scoreboard up.
It's in Miami
because I'm picking the Dolphins. So everybody knows
this is an indictment of the New York offense. And
where's it at?
Also that Dolphin defense for real, dog.
Yeah. Well, we thought so at the beginning of the season,
season
happened, but now they're starting to wake up. Finally.
You know why? I can't. Who's their middle linebacker?
Oh, I can't remember.
He missed the first 6 games of the year.
Oh, that'll do it.
So
that'll help.
Yeah, and now they're playing lights out. So. Super stoked to have him on my team.
You're starting him this week?
Who do you have on your team?
Dolphins D.
Dolphins defense.
Oh.
I'm carrying 3 defenses right now.
Jeez.
And
I might drop the Rams defense after this
might drop the Buffalo defense. I don't know how they're going to be. So we didn't talk about this while we were breaking down the game. We didn't actually break down that game.
Well, yeah, we haven't got to Buffalo yet.
No, Buffalo. We talked. That was the first game. Actually, it's Monday night game, so we haven't got to it.
We haven't got to it yet. Yeah.
That's right.
We're still going to have to pick it, but we haven't distributed it yet.
Pick it. But it's we'll just go through those games when we get there. But anyway, we'll talk about that when that comes up. Yeah. So we'll leave that on later. Buffalo stuff's coming.
I really don't want to talk about the Dolphins versus Jets or Giants.
So
I will pick the Dolphins.
Okay, I do want to talk about this game.
Okay, but let's get the picks out of the way.
Yeah, Dolphins for sure.
Oh, yeah, okay, now go ahead and elaborate.
So, before the season started, no one expected the Dolphins to be 5-7 right now. They're a team that you would have expected to be 7-5, 8-4ish, right? They are now playing really, really well, and they're getting healthy. They're getting Devontae Parker back this week, also on my team. In a couple of weeks they should get Will Fuller back. This is a good team. This is a dangerous team. I think that, I really think that the Dolphins are a team that can make the playoffs. Like I was saying earlier, they've already played the Patriots twice. They've already played the Bills twice. they have they have a good schedule coming up, and they're getting healthy at the right time. I'm picking them to make the playoffs. Like right now, I think they're at least a 9-8 team.
I think so. Huh? It's a bold prediction that it's hard for me to argue with because, like I say, I was actually a real big fan of Miami prior to the season, and coming in, and was actually shocked at the way things went.
Me too.
So,
I was too.
You know what I mean? Like seeing them come on here, it does feel like, oh, finally.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
yes.
It does feel like that.
And they just don't have a ton of major injuries. They've had a lot of nagging injuries, and like I was saying, they have their guys are coming back, and they've been leaning on a rookie. They've been leaning on Jalen Waddle, and
who's been unusually great, by the way.
Yeah,
Wow.
He's
Definitely
I think
impressed.
I saw a statistic. He has the second most receptions by a rookie through his first 12 games all time to Odell Beckham.
Yeah.
And Gesicki over the last month to 6 weeks has really eaten up a bunch of coverage, and I think that gets better when they get Parker back and they get Fuller back. So with the full complement of weapons, I think they can actually score points. So, the next three. I think the only other game left is the Colts and Texans. As far as
No, we still got the Bills too.
yeah, but no, but those are primetime games.
Okay, so Colts versus Texans is not a primetime game.
No,
Okay, so we're at an odd
that's-
right here. Who wants to take that game?
well, if that's the last one,
Yeah.
right. The other games are assigned to everybody.
Yes.
like we can just all watch it because nobody wants to watch it, right?
So one of us will have watched it then, right? If you're all down for it, I'll just give it to you, and then I'll just try to watch it at some point.
God, I don't want to watch this one.
Exactly. See, so you got it, Brian. I mean, what are you gonna watch that game?
I'll
Wait a
take
minute.
it. One of you
No.
guys take the other one next week,
Hold on. I know how to solve this. I got it. Okay.
Uh-huh.
The person who picked up T.Y. Hilton today should have to watch this game.
Who picked up Ty?
Did I? Oh, you guys are looking at me. Did I pick him up? I
It
don't
wasn't
know.
me.
Did I pick him
Oh
up?
no, it wasn't you. Never mind. That was Joe.
I was like, what? I don't remember
I
that.
thought it was you. I thought it was you.
Wah.
I think it was Jovid actually. Now that on second thought, it was Joe.
I was like, I don't remember that.
So
But
Joe has to watch this game.
I mean, we don't have to watch every game. What is it? The Colts versus what?
Man, it's Colts Texans. It's
God,
so-
none of us
Well,
want to
the
watch
thing
that
about
game.
this game is there's
Colts are
going to be
going
a
to
lot.
obviously win that game, right? They're all
The thing that I'm
There's going to be a lot of
interested in this
fantasy
game
points.
is I really don't want Brandon Cooks to go off.
Just on a personal note.
and we're all picking Colts,
On a
right?
personal
Like
note,
that's a
if
no
Brandon Cooks could just pull a hamstring in the first quarter.
So what do you guys think about Jonathan Taylor in this game? Is he just going to go absolutely nuts like everybody thinks? Or do you think this is going to be more of a passing game with Wentz?
But
and
you know
Pittman?
what? I kind of feel like in games like this, they should be like routinely working the quarterback out and letting the running back rest. You know what I mean, kind of thing. But that's just my approach to like how I would as a head coach. Like,
So,
this is a give me game.
I totally
Let's-
know what you're talking about because I
let's do this.
feel that way too. Like Jonathan Taylor's been getting so much
Okay,
that in this
kind
game
of.
where they should run away with it, do they really want to give that much more work to their guy that's going to carry them through the playoffs?
So they already kind of took their foot off the gas in the Tampa Bay game. Jonathan Taylor went from
Real quick, before you finish that thought, what's the over-under? What's the spread in this game?
excuse me. The over under is it's Indy by 10, and
That's the spread.
And the spread. Excuse me. The spread is Indy by 10, and the over under is 44.5.
44.5 points? Fuck. That's a lot. And we're all picking the Colts, right?
Yeah, we're all
Yes.
picking the Colts to win.
Fuck, I have no standalone games.
I think the
And
Colts will cover.
that bugs the shit out of me.
not done
we
yet.
still have two more. We still have the two primetime games.
Okay, fine.
Calm down.
And those are close games too, so you have a good chance.
All right. That bugs the shit out of me right now that I don't have a standalone game.
You guys were bugging me last week. I got a crap load this week.
So in the Indy Tampa Bay game, Jonathan Taylor went something like 25 game minutes without touching the ball.
Really?
Yeah, he didn't touch the ball in the entire third quarter.
Okay. But how many carries did he have though?
I don't. It wasn't a high number. I want to say 19.
I thought it was in the mid to low 20s, but still, or maybe I'm thinking overall touches. He had some catches too, right?
He only had 19 PPR fantasy points. Only 19, right. But he's the way that he's been going off, only 19. Yeah. He could have done a lot more damage, considering they scored 30 points as a team.
Do you think they're going to ride him this game, or do you think they're going to try to rest him a little bit if they can?
I think if you're a team now, if they had won last week, I'd say yes, they could rest him a little bit. But they lost. They're 6-6. You got to.
And I just want to point out 4 turnovers.
You got to ride your guy.
And that game was that close.
You got to ride your guy.
We picked Indy for a reason, Ken. I can't believe they lost.
I know. That's how good. That's how good the Bucs are. Because they did the same thing to Dallas in Week 1. Dallas. Yeah. I think they turned the ball. They might have turned the ball over 5 times against the Cowboys in Week 1. It was bad. There was a lot of turnovers. They lost. They were -3 in that turnover, the turnover margin in that game, and won the game.
Yeah,
that's not supposed to happen. And there's the statistics on turnover margin. When you get to -2, it's something like 90%.
Right.
You're like 90. Crazy. You're like 90% to win the game when you're +2 in turnover margin. So to be +3 in turnover margin and lose the game, and now they've done that twice. They have now beaten 2 teams while being -3.
2 good teams.
2 good teams.
Yeah.
Number 12 is pretty fucking good.
I hate to admit that, but yes.
But before we go any further, let's throw out the 2 primetime games.
Yeah. So we'll start with the Sunday night game, right?
Okay. And it is.
Oh. Sunday night.
It is.
That's our Kansas City game, I believe.
Yeah, Kansas City and Denver. So, I'm not wild about watching this game, to be honest with you, because the Chiefs have just not been fun to watch this year.
What's the spread? What's the spread?
Spread is 9.5 for Kansas City, which I think is too high. I think the Broncos will cover that.
That does sound high. I agree.
And the over/under is 47. It's
fuck. I think this might be my standalone. I'm going to go with Denver, I think, more so because I need a standalone game. And
cool. I'm picking Kansas City. So
I am too, for sure.
I think Denver's going to cover, but I'm picking Kansas City, and I think it's going to be under 47 points.
I would agree with both
of those statements. I'm not comfortable with this standalone choice, but I can't go the entire spread, the entire games, and not pick a standalone. I got to be by myself on this one. So I'm going to take the Broncos over Kansas City.
It's a division game. The Broncos are a good team. They're a solid team. They're playing well.
What's the other team? What's the other team?
The last game?
Yeah.
Before we move on to that game, let's talk about the fantasy implications for the game. Teams have just been playing deep on the Chiefs and letting them run.
That's quite a fucking underdog pick that I just picked too, by the way.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I did that earlier, though, didn't I?
Hero pick.
Didn't I make a hero pick earlier? Hey, did we pick the 49ers Seahawks game? I don't think we did.
I don't see it on
here.
I
think we skipped it.
We did.
I don't see it on here. I don't see it on the board either.
And this is an interesting game, too, because the weather's going to be bad.
Where's the 49ers? That's not a primetime game?
No, it's a 1 o'clock game.
Okay, so Niners Seahawks. What's the over or what's the spread?
The spread is San Francisco by 3.5, and the over under is 45.5.
45.5?
Mm-hmm.
That seems a little high.
Oh, really? I'm going to pick the over, and I'm going to pick the 49ers to win that game.
I also picking the Niners. What are you picking, Bryan? Unanimous. Okay. Unanimous.
That means the Seahawks will win this game.
I know. Well, those kinds of games, I can't feel bad. If we're all wrong about it.
No, but that's going to happen. How many we got?
That's been the NFL this year, honestly.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 unanimous games now. We will be wrong about at least 2 of them. I really hope we're wrong about the Rams game.
Fuck you. I love it, though. I love that you kind of toss it back sometimes. Because if you never toss it back, then you just kind of feel like a bully, like you said, right? But That's a good one.
God, I hope Trevor Lawrence just goes off on you guys.
Fuck that guy. I hope he breaks his leg.
What a disappointment, by the way. Like, Trevor Lawrence has not looked good this year.
I haven't seen enough of.
Plays for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I have
don't
not
feel
watched
bad
him
about
enough to tell you what I actually think.
Poor dude.
So I watched the.
Trevor Lawrence, if you're
London,
listening, just stay healthy.
I watched
somebody else can pick
I watched
you up.
the London game. And my takeaway from watching the London game was that the play calling felt awkward. And when I say that, it's like they would have these 3 and outs that were quick, and it was. If I was putting myself into Trevor Lawrence's shoes, I would have been like, man, well, I didn't really get a chance to do anything on that drive. Oh, I didn't really get a chance to do anything on that drive either. And it was
You're saying because of Urban Meyer, we don't really know what he can do.
Yeah, I don't think so. I really don't think that the ball's being put in his hands. And I don't think, like, you watch guys, like you watch Jalen Hurts. And for better or for worse, they're fucking just giving him the ball and saying, go do it, get it done.
Right.
And like you watched Joe Burrow last year, and all the way up until he got hurt, man, the offense was about Joe Burrow.
Burrow looked good doing it. And just Trevor Lawrence has not.
But he's also getting, like, I don't know what their offense is trying to do. What is their offense trying to do? Do you know? Who are they going to? What?
Yeah,
how are they?
Not.
How are they trying to get that guy the ball? You don't know. You know who their leading target getter is? Whoever the fuck's playing tight end this week, because they've been through 3 tight ends this year.
O'Shaughnessy.
Yeah, and now Jacob O'Shaughnessy is up. So there's the fantasy, the little nugget that you need to know for this game, the Rams Jags game, is that
O'Shaughnessy
Jacob
actually could
O'Shaughnessy is
yeah,
a huge.
If you're hurting for tight ends, he's somebody I would be willing to start.
O'Shaughnessy ain't gonna
I'll probably
do
put him
shit.
in a couple of DFS
He ain't gonna
lineups.
do shit.
He's gonna get the targets. He's gonna get targets, man. I'm gonna put him in a lineup.
He's a
or two.
Rams fan.
So
Sorry.
So my thought on Trevor Lawrence is the dude needs to stay healthy, deny any contract extension, go play backup somewhere, because that's what you'll end up doing, because you're denying a contract extension. And then when you get your start, prove yourself on a formidable team.
So, like,
that's the route you should go. Trevor, if you're listening,
I said last week
to this fucking football fan, just stay healthy, deny your contract extension, go play backup somewhere, and then prove your worth when that quarterback gets injured that you're a stud, and then play another 5-10 years.
I agree with the first two.
That's what I think you should do, Trevor. Fuck the Jacksonville Jaguars, who will someday be the London Jaguars.
I think they should be the London Jaguars.
I think they're well on the road.
He'd be playing better if they were the London Jaguars.
So we'll move on to
All right, so which game were we on?
So we were talking about the 49ers and the Seahawks. We all picked San Francisco,
Okay.
but we didn't talk about any of the fantasy stuff yet.
That's true.
So no Debo
Right.
for those of you.
So Ayuk is
lucky son of a
definitely a good
bitches,
play.
that have been, riding Debo. So Ayuk, right? Ayuk, real good start. Remember we were talking about that trade that I made?
Which one?
The last one for Najee.
You got to remind me, man.
So I shipped off Leonard Fournette, James Robinson, and Brandon Ayuk, and I got back Najee and Elijah Moore. And you said, well, I don't know why that guy made that deal.
Right.
How do you feel now?
I still like your end of it, honestly. Like I mean, Fournette obviously had an amazing week.
That was the bad matchup.
Well, and we'll see how Fournette does. But
That was the bad matchup.
so, are you not happy with it at this point?
Oh,
Are you sad?
No. I mean, I'm confident because I made the move. I'm confident, but I didn't think the side that I sent away was going to like perform as well. And also now, with Debo being hurt,
now your throwaway is now valuable
and
for at least a few weeks.
It was like it was a wash. That part of the trade was like me being like, I really think Elijah Moore is a better player than Brandon Ayuk and has a better chance at scoring points
Next year.
And this year, the rest of this year, but now Debo's hurt.
Right.
And that's just the thing about fantasy football is you can't predict everything about it, and it's so much fun. And you know what's better about it is, so the other guy, that's my brother.
Oh, okay.
And he's killing it. He's just killing it. I love it. It's awesome. He's playing.
Fuck you, Dan.
And he started Tony Pollard last night.
I got him this week.
He started,
and that fool fucking went off.
He started Tony Pollard
on one play
and the Dallas defense last night.
Wow.
So
I love you, Dan, but fuck you, man.
So yeah. So sometimes
what I need, we'll get there, but what I literally need is to beat Dan and then him to lose next week for me to make the playoffs for the fantasy league.
Yeah,
you still got a chance. I'm happy.
You both.
I mean, Stafford and
you both have to win out and score like 180 points each week.
Stafford and Cup have to go off for me to fucking make it.
I feel pretty comfortable.
Have we talked about the Niners and Seahawks?
It would be incredible if my team didn't make the playoffs at this point.
Because there's a 2-game gap right now between 7th and 6th.
I'm also the number one scoring team.
Yes, you did pass me up this past week, and we'll get there. But yeah, there's a 2-game gap right now.
And Niners, the only other part of the game is to talk about is Elijah.
Mitchell.
Yeah,
Elijah Mitchell.
He's going to be great.
He's going to be great. And what people should know about him is if obviously in your redraft leagues and all your dynasty leagues and stuff like that, you're going to start him. He's going to be a really popular DFS player.
Who are we talking about?
Elijah Mitchell.
Okay.
And so spoiler alert, he's in my DFS lineup, but
fuck that lineup.
Not as he's not going to help you be contrarian this week.
For sure.
A lot of other people are going to start him if you're playing him in DFS lineups.
And just
then
move on to the other side of the ball. Seattle.
Done. And we're done.
No, you don't like Seattle at all? Not even DK?
No, we have one more game. What's the Monday
DK.
game?
That's funny that you say DK because I was going to say you can start Tyler Lockett.
I think we're missing a primary game here.
I'll take that bet.
Primetime game. I said primary.
Well, no, we haven't done it yet.
Yeah, we have one more.
We have one more.
No, we actually have the Thursday night game to do two.
Oh, the next one.
Oh, two more.
Next
You're
Thursday.
right.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So,
just throw the 2 games out real quick.
Last thing. So Seattle, you start you're still going to start DK. You're still going to start you're going to start Tyler Lockett like you should.
Which I have.
I would not start Russ.
No, I wouldn't either.
I would be if I'm the Russell.
Does something, yeah.
If I'm the Russell Wilson manager, I'm starting a streamer. And that's funny because I'm playing against the Russell Wilson manager this week, and I don't think he's going to start a streamer, so I'm pretty excited about that.
All right, so what's our last game here?
The Monday night game. We have 2 games. We have the Monday night game, then we have next Thursday.
So what's the Monday night game?
Patriots and Bills. We're playing in Buffalo. The line is Buffalo by 2.5. The over/under is 42.
Buffalo by 2.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna take. I'm gonna take Buffalo to cover, and the under.
Okay, but who are you picking to win?
Buffalo.
I'm picking Patriots. And what would you say was the over/under?
42.
Bryan, who are you leaving as the standalone?
Honestly, this is the hardest game of the week for me to pick right here. This is a tough one right here. And when it comes down to it, I just can't pick the Patriots because I fucking hate them. So I'm going to go for Buffalo.
So
give me 2 standalone games this week. I don't care if I lose.
So this wasn't hard for me to pick, only because
I think the Patriots
it's
are going to
either Buffalo's time or it's not. It's either Buffalo's time now or they don't get one. So if the Bills lose this game, I feel like we're right back into Patriots dynasty mode.
Mm-hmm.
If the Patriots win this game, I'm not picking against the Patriots for the rest of the season until the Super Bowl.
Okay, so yes. What's the Thursday night game? What's Thursday night game?
I don't have that
Week
one in front of me
14.
right now.
Because this is Friday night fantasy football, we have to pick the following Thursday game for your guys' entertainment. And yeah, so,
Let me see if I can get that.
I got you. It's my Steelers versus the Vikings.
Ooh, good one.
Yeah.
right off the bat,
What's
the
the
Vikings?
There's not going to be a line for this one yet, right?
No.
Right. Yeah, I'll take the Vikings.
Yeah, I'll take the Steelers.
Yeah.
Got to.
Yeah, you have to do that.
Got to.
You have
Yeah,
to do
it's
that.
Too close a line not to.
But I like the Vikings. I still think the Vikings are a playoff team.
I'm comfortable with having only 2 standalone games. I think that's enough
good.
to say that I got my own personality.
Who did I?
Did Ken
Did I
have
only
any?
get one? Did I only pick the Jets?
Wow, your
My
hopes are
one
on the
my
Jets.
my hopes. My hopes.
Enjoy.
He said enjoy.
Well, I did pick first a lot this week.
That's my excuse. Thank you. All right.
So, all right. So, where does that bring us to? Like, we didn't really talk. So, we didn't talk about the fantasy stuff for the Buffalo game. And
Go
we
ahead
didn't.
and get started
No.
while I write this down.
so, so I'm the Josh Allen manager in our league,
Yes, you are.
and
Son of a bitch.
so this is a nervous week for me.
You're going to get picked at least once.
Twice, I think.
I think twice too, but you're going to get picked at least
I
once.
think it's going to be. I think it's going to be twice. I think this is a game where Josh, he's going to score 3 touchdowns, and one of them's going to be rushing. I think Buffalo wins this game something like.
You think he's going to score 3 rushing touchdowns?
No. I think one of them will be rushing.
Okay, one of
they're-
them I
so
would
they-
bet against. 3 I'd bet against. One I wouldn't.
Yeah, no. I think he'll get one rushing touchdown. I think he'll score 3 total touchdowns, but it's going to be a 200 yards, barely score over 20-point fantasy game. I think that's my projection for him.
What's the over under on this? 42.
I wouldn't. Yeah, 42.
That
I
was each team
I-
scoring
the
21
only-
points.
The only players.
I'd go over on that.
I don't think so. The only players I'm confident
Two
starting.
great defensive teams, though.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
And so we.
New
so we-
England is really coming on.
Thanks for
and-
talking me out of that, Ben.
I'll do
so-
what I can.
Sucker.
This will make you
Got an easy
feel
shot
better.
there.
The Bills lost Tre'Davious White for the year. He's top 5 corner in the game. Like, they moved on from Stephon Gilmore when Gilmore was at the top of his game because they had Tre'Davious White. So he's done for the year. I'm really interested to see.
When did he get hurt?
Last week. This just happened. This just happened. So that's why, like I said, so what I was going to say is I'm carrying 3 defenses on the team right now because I want to see how Buffalo plays without him.
Gotcha.
And I'm worried. I'm because the Patriots are coming on and they're good. Like they don't have like a bona fide stud that you're gonna you can't wait to draft next year in fantasy football. But
Not
they
even
just
close.
man, they just have a system and it just works. And like because the best when I'm thinking about the best fantasy start from the Patriots perspective, it's probably Kendrick Bourne. And
Maybe Damian Harris, but
maybe, but that running game's turned into a 3-headed monster now. They got Steve.
I think Bolden's still
Like
out, but I know what you're talking
They
about.
like
yeah.
Stevenson. Well, they've not just, but when Bolden's out, they've got the other guy that catches passes. What's his name? I forget his name.
But
Jackson.
he
Johnson,
got a lot of work
something.
last week, or
Last week.
I didn't remember him having a relevant stat line, but
No, last week it was Stevenson and
Okay.
Harris.
yeah, and I think
but
it'll be
they're-
that
but-
again.
But they're kind of split now. Whereas at the beginning of the season, it was all Harris.
Right.
And like Stevenson fumbled a couple of times and like lost work in the beginning of the year and has gotten over that. And so now like there's just not any Patriots running back that I want to start. And like I have Damian
Or
Harris.
receiver.
And well, that's what I'm saying is I would start
Yeah.
Bourne.
Like I say, I'd start Harris. Over
I would
Bourne.
start Kendrick Bourne with confidence. And he's the only Patriots player I would start with confidence this week.
Jeez.
Harris versus Bourne.
Put it on the board.
All right.
Times 4 that bitch.
No, shut your mouth. What are you, we're not even going to have a podcast, dude. We're just going to be like...
No, you guys would be like that.
Why?
Not me.
Not you.
Only because I don't have very many bets on the board.
Yeah, there it is.
Somebody's got to be a producer around here, right?
Yeah, somebody should.
All right, so
we do we like? Well, I don't think we should talk about the fantasy implications of the Thursday night game because of injuries and stuff. You never know.
Oh yeah. It's kind of far away. That's
but
kind of like a reach, right?
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that's the position we're put in. We have to make a decision on it. Do we want to move into our fantasy league?
No.
He said no.
Yes, we do. It's time.
So first,
and normally we start with this.
yeah, I know, but we went a different direction, and that's
But
okay.
we're out of the playoffs now, so
Are you
fuck
guys-
this league? Let's move on.
Are you guys out?
Sort of. A lot of losing has to happen.
It was
Miracles must happen.
So okay, you say that. I feel like the way that the standings shook out after this last weekend were completely unexpected.
Yeah.
Like that's
First of all, before we move on, I think we should be imitating the NFL and having 7 teams in the playoffs, not 6. Okay. Only one bye needs to be done.
hey, this is for the owners
Now-
meeting. That's
now,
for the owners
that's not
meeting next
saying
year. The
that
owners meeting will be next summer. Well, we'll have a nice dinner, and we get
Please make that happen.
And I think that's a legit topic. I
please,
like that idea.
please make that happen.
What are you talking
I
about?
like the idea.
I don't remember being at a no owners meeting this
You
week.
were at the owners meeting.
I was not. I was only at the draft.
You were only at the draft.
I was only at the draft.
Yeah.
However, I'm the new guy. I understand.
Yeah. So
I was
okay.
the new guy.
Nachos, man.
Oh,
Missed
that's
out.
true. That's the owners meeting is when we decided to add him.
Oh, yeah.
So the owners meeting, yeah, absolutely. We should, and we need 2 things that should happen at the owners meeting. 1, that topic should come up. 2, the punishment should be decided for the last place player. I'm not worried about being in last place. It's not going to happen.
We want it to be the same every year.
I don't know, but I'm just saying we should decide sooner than later on that. Have you came up with the last place punishment?
Let's go through the matchups, and then we'll talk about that.
Okay.
Because we pretty much determined who that's going to be. So give me a second. I'm gonna use the bathroom, and then let's do
Okay,
this.
me and Brian will talk.
Okay.
So what's up, Brian? How you doing, dude?
Oh, I'm sorry. If we're talking about, I was just looking at the playoff scenario here. And
Fuck
you
that
actually, dude, you
Sanders
actually have a shot.
49ers wearing jersey motherfucker.
But
Hopefully
but
he doesn't let the dog in when he comes back in.
I'm just saying, out of the 2 of us, man, like I'm hopeless. But you actually have a shot. Like if you win the last 2 weeks, there are 3 7-5 teams, and one of them is going to lose twice.
So
you've got the higher score over all of them but one. So
I would need Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp to put like a really good performance up right now, in order for me to make the playoffs.
that's very likely.
It's possible because they're going against Jacksonville, right? Which is another reason why I went with Sony Michel, because they're going to need a running back to help them with that.
No, Sony's going to have a great week if Henderson's out for sure.
But I am so far behind right now because Cooper from Dallas underperformed and Schultz underperformed and put me in a bad spot because the Dallas Cowboys defense overperformed and so did T. Pollard. So that's really got me at a bad spot. So I guess I might as well just lead into this. I'm going against Dan's Dandy team, and he's projected right now to score more points than me, and I'm at a 26% win ratio against him. Like I said, I could probably still pull it off if the Rams have a hell of a game, and they would have to have a hell of a game.
Yeah, you need a Cooper Kupp 40-point performance this weekend.
I need a Rams point performance. I need a Sony Michel point performance, and it's possible against Jacksonville. It's very possible. And I also picked their defense. It's possible to pick off that new quarterback that they got over there and then Trevor Lawrence. But yes, I'm going to need that win.
I'm definitely rooting for you, Jester. But Dan out there, you look good. Damn.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
looking
looking good
I'm
this
looking at your
season.
team right now, and
His roster looks tough.
it does.
Yeah.
It does. Especially this week. I mean, Cousins and Jefferson is going to be a fucking killer connection this week.
And we already picked the
Ayuk,
Vikings. We all
Fournette,
thought the Vikings
yeah.
were going to win. So
That's rough.
You know, and you know what? My goal going into this thing was to not get last place, which I'm not going to get last place.
Definitely not.
But what happened was I tasted a little bit of success, and I ended up wanting more out of myself as to make the playoffs. But going into this thing at the start of it, I didn't expect that. I just wanted not to get last place, and so I'm going to meet my original goal. You know, but I got a little greedy, and I got my heart set on making the playoffs. But it doesn't seem like it's going to happen this year.
Like I say, you still got a chance, man. Just win out and see what happens.
Dude, so when he invited me to your league the first year, remember I was in and I lost consecutive weeks to lose out and miss the playoffs.
I do remember you talking.
And it was rough because I was super excited about it.
You almost want to cry about it, but not really, right? Because you're a man. But anyway,
I saw a tear, but go ahead.
So after that, we got Prime.
That was tough, dude.
Prime's Poachers versus Menage a Trois, which Menage a Trois, I believe, is the last place team, right?
No. He battled the last place team last week and won. So now what he is he's 3-0 against me since the inception of this league, and he's projected to win this week. Yes, he is now, and we have a ongoing stake bet, like with every time. Every time.
It's a good bet. I like that. Yeah.
He has CD Lamb, and CD Lamb has been really a thorn in my side.
I love CD Lamb.
Just because so good. He gets the targets over Cooper. You know what I mean?
He's replaced him as the number one.
Fuck that guy, CD Lamb.
That happened this year.
Dude.
CD Lamb is
CD Lamb. If you're listening,
he's legit. Fuck off. That's my guy next year. Like he's the receiver I'll be willing to spend the most on. I'll go ahead and let you know. I'm not going to say it again so you can forget.
You can have him. I'll fuck him because I got Cooper Kupp.
I'll run him up. Don't worry.
Yeah, you won't remember.
Notes
You're a Cowboy fan.
No, you'll be trying to get him for yourself because you should be because next year he'll be the number one receiver.
I hate the Cowboys.
That's fine. You still want the number one receiver.
I like running up the prices on them, but I don't like getting them.
So who do we think here? We think Prime Poachers or Menage a Trois?
Oh, I'm still gonna win.
I don't like that Russell Wilson.
That's what. Yeah. So, if you're like just looking down the line at projections, the projection on Russell Wilson is high. The projection on Hawkinson is high. The projection on that Pittsburgh defense is high.
That's hilarious.
But no, honestly, I'm like I think some of my projections are a little low. I think the projection on Jerry.
I'm rooting for you, Menage a Trois
is really low, and I think the projection on Freiermuth is really low because Freiermuth is like the only weapon that Ben can actually throw the ball accurately to.
I'm rooting for Menage a Trois.
The Muth is Luth.
That's right.
I want to get that shirt. They made those shirts.
I ordered it.
You did?
Yeah. I'm getting it for Christmas.
Okay, I'm getting one now. You're gonna get dinner butter too?
No, not dinner butter. I'm a breakfast butter kind of guy, you know.
Yeah, I like breakfast butter too.
I think Menage a Trois should win this one.
We should get that
trending. He's not going to.
I'm sorry?
I think Menage a Trois should win this one, but with my luck, he's not going to.
With my luck.
So we're going to go ahead and move on.
I'm not the person you're rooting to lose. You're not going to catch me anyway.
I'm rooting.
He can catch you.
I just need.
If you lose 2, he wins 2.
No, but it won't be me that gets knocked out.
If you lose 2 in a row,
it wouldn't be me. It would be somebody else.
If you lose 2 in a row, I could very much knock you out.
I lose 2 in a row, but other people could lose 2 in a row too.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying is it would be easier for other people to lose 2 in a row and you to get in because they already have less points than you.
Next up, we got Show Me Your Touchdowns on COVID-19.
So
Show Me Your Touchdowns is going to win this match.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think Jovid's going to win, and I know that because I don't want him to win this week. It's better for me if he loses. Like, Show Me Your TDs is going to be the number 1 seed, more than likely, and what I'm shooting for is to get to number 2. So I need Slim's Ballers and Jovid to both lose.
You're not getting number 2 seed.
If they lose, I will.
I don't. You're not getting number 2 seed, dude.
If they lose, I will.
You're not getting number 2 seed. Now you're gonna make.
How
playoffs.
upset would you be if I ended up with the number 2 seed?
I wouldn't care really.
After starting 1-4, while you're talking all that shit,
I honestly wouldn't care.
You were talking so much shit.
I was, but I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care Really? I wouldn't care. And a lot of that stems from the fact that I'm not in it. I'm not going to go in the playoffs. So it's just like there's a disconnect there. Like I don't give a fuck what's going to happen.
To care. I'm not in the playoffs.
Exactly.
All right, Andre.
That's exactly it. But with more intellect than what your voice, portrayed.
With you mean hopefully more intellect.
No, geez. Anyway.
Well, it's not on display yet, so it's
Dang!
it's in theory.
There's not very many people that can keep up with talking shit. So anyway, after that we have Team Hernandez and Murda Villains. Let's take a look at there. None of their players have started yet. What the? Doesn't look like any.
Well, he's just subjected himself to last place.
Murda Villains. I suppose. I hope you collected from that guy already.
The way that I would like it to work ideally is that at the end of the regular season, you have the top of the top 6 people playing for the playoffs.
Should be top 7, but we'll talk about that at the owners.
And then you have the next 4 people playing for consolation, and then you have the bottom 2 playing for the Sacco.
What's the Sacco again?
Last place.
Okay, so
like I personally don't want the last place trophy to be decided just on the regular season.
Let me ask you something.
I would still like it if the person who has a horrible season, they're 0-6, they don't care for 8 weeks, but then they get to care for 1 week so that they don't get last.
I like that. I like it.
So, okay, so Menage a Trois is in last place.
He's not. Murda Valiants is.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, that was just completely a booze talking there. So I think this is a good time to talk about what happens
trophy?
if you're in last place.
Yeah, that's so we talked about what happened last year.
And this year we were going with a tattoo, right?
So
that was the plan.
Fuck no. You
owners
can
meeting,
kick
guys.
me out of the fucking league. I would never get a tattoo
meeting.
for fantasy
Owners
fucking
meeting,
football.
guys.
Don't get last.
So you know what? There's a lot of interesting things that you can make people do. One of the funniest ones that I saw was this league has been going around for like 15 years, and they have a shirt that the person in last place has to wear during the draft.
Okay.
It's never been washed.
But we don't have a shirt picked out. We don't have
I imagine at first it wasn't that bad.
yeah, the first time it would.
But I mean, I imagine probably around year 5, someone put that on and was like, this smells bad.
I mean, year 1, if I'm the champion, I am working out in that motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, I am getting some sweat in there.
So anyway, that's one idea. So what I think it should be is it should be a public humiliation.
Argue, but what is it?
I don't know, but I'm just saying that's the important thing. The important thing is that you're humiliated in front of your friends that you just played fantasy football with.
So let me ask you
something. I also
something.
like that they buy us food, but go ahead.
Let me ask you something, okay? Because
That's not humiliating though. Like that's easy. Like
Yeah, but it's got to be something that
I wouldn't
benefits
even
everybody,
care about last place if it was just like, oh, I got to buy KFC.
So I'm new to this league.
KFC.
I'm new to this
We
league.
going to Texas Day, Brazil.
I'm new to the league. I've known Kenny for a couple decades. Bryan's new to me, and everybody else I don't know. Okay. So
You know Danny.
Well, Danny, yeah, I've known Danny for a
fuck
couple
that
decades.
guy.
Too.
You met Bryan. You met other Bryan.
So when I'm talking about murder villains, is he somebody that's really still engaged in the league? Do we expect?
Oh yeah, I talk to him every week.
So he's going to be back next year.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, so, I kind of feel like he's not trying anymore.
No, he's so trying, dude. It's so bad.
Okay,
so
so-
he's trying so hard.
And he's making moves every week. Like I've totally noticed that he's making moves. He's constantly doing
He's the
pickups.
second
He's
mo- he's the
involved,
only
and
person
he's
that-
making trades all the time.
He's the only person
dude,
that has
I
a
love
chance
him
to
in
pass
the-
me in transactions.
So Murder Villains. Okay, so Murder Villains, you suck at fantasy. I'm sorry.
He's learning. He's learning.
Yes,
but you know, kudos to you for being loyal to the league. Like I said,
he's talking so much shit right now. You suck at fantasy football.
Loyalty,
I'm way better than you.
But thank you for
loyalty
donating.
is something that I respect. I said it earlier in the podcast. How do you feel about not knowing what your fucking punishment is going to be at the end of the season? Like, that's got to be decided, man. We can't be like dragging this out
And I'm just
2
saying,
weeks before playoffs.
I want to say I pushed for that at the owners meeting, but
You know,
Yeah, that's an owners meeting thing.
but we're not going to have another owners meeting.
Before then, no. But I also decided everything myself last year. I didn't.
And are you not comfortable with deciding this year? Like, what's the deal with that?
It's not necessarily that. It's last year was the first year of the league.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really? Okay, so I'm only 1 year behind.
oh
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So it's really that I'm trying. I want the league to be. It's more important to me that the people that I've chosen to be in the league enjoy the league and want to continue playing and are
Okay.
competitive about it.
Okay.
Than it is for me to have my stamp on everything.
So there's 3 of us here.
Yeah.
2 out of 3. Now we have sent this podcast to everybody else in the league.
Yeah. So
They
they
could absolutely have chimed in while we were live talking
Sure.
about this, and they have not done that.
Uh-huh.
So 2 out of 3, like, we should figure this out right now.
Okay.
And then next week, if they haven't chimed in by next week's comments, whether yay or nay in it,
have them vote on it in the comments or something.
right?
I like it.
And so they got a week to do it, and we can send a text message out. Hey, comment on the YouTube video if you agree or disagree with the.
That's fine.
And it's going to majority win.
Let's just talk about it. What are we talking about?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it right now.
What are we
So
talking about?
So do you have any ideas, man?
for me personally, like, I think there should be a cop out, right? And the cop out,
The money?
should, money.
We talked about this.
Yes, last week we talked about it. I don't know what that figure should be. $50, $100.
I think
but
I said $500.
Yeah, and that was a little extreme, right?
No, it
Make
was.
it hurt.
It was, but like I said,
Well, that was more than the buy-in.
so
Right.
okay.
Right.
If we're okay, hold on. If we're gonna talk about like a piece of what we talked about before, let's bring back the whole thing.
Yeah.
And the whole thing was
Keep in mind, none of us, everybody listening, keep it in mind, none of us are going to get last place. Like, the math isn't
Right.
there for any one
No.
of us to get last place.
So last year's was there's obviously a Sacco trophy that goes with it. Then it was a 100-word love letter to first place from the last place person, talking about how they admired their fantasy football skills.
did that happen?
Yeah.
So, okay, so that did happen. Okay.
And
Is that person still in the league?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. The Juan was last year.
And he's going to be last this year,
Yes.
probably. Okay. You really want to talk about speed?
And
Sorry.
and it was Menage a Trois was the first place last year.
Okay.
He was our champion last year.
Fluke.
he's the highest rated manager in the league.
Only time will tell.
And you had him with the best draft, and I just looked at
He's
his
the
team and
highest
went, "What
rated
are you-"
manager
What do
in
you
the
mean
league.
highest rated? What does that matter? What are you talking about? Highest rated?
You don't know what I'm talking about?
No. Highest rated
I
was
sort of know what you're talking about. Is that like gold, silver, platinum?
Yeah,
or whatever?
Yahoo rates you.
Yeah, Yahoo does.
Oh.
I think I'm a silver
That means
manager right now.
nothing.
I wouldn't say it means nothing.
It
They
means
got
very
an
little.
algorithm.
I-
They got an algorithm, right? So it's
To me, that honestly, the way that they track that stuff, because it's week to week, so it goes up with your wins and losses. To me, honestly, that's like more indicative of how good of a fantasy football player you are than like you scoring 190 points this week because you got lucky because Fournette scored 45.
I totally agree with that, but that wasn't my point either.
It's a longevity thing,
for sure.
And so you're the second highest rated manager.
And I still say that it doesn't mean much.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, it's something. It's out there that you're playing on the Yahoo
So the
platforms
only way
and
to
whatnot,
get there.
okay. So I'm gonna throw a suggestion out
so-
there, right? Before we segue too much, a T-shirt that says "so and so is the best fantasy player in the league," and you're responsible to pay for that T-shirt and make it. So that's suggestion number 1. We don't have to vote on it now.
I kind of like that. The winner gets to design the T-shirt
And we could do it
that
that
the
way
loser
too,
has
yeah.
to buy. I like
the winner
that.
has to design it. There's that new T-shirt shop that just opened up by the old Walmart. They could probably make it.
Not a sponsor yet.
Not a sponsor yet. So that's why I'm not naming names. So that's suggestion number 1. I've thrown out a suggestion to get the ball rolling.
Okay. So
Let me hear your 2
so
suggestions.
that's a penalty.
Penalty, yeah.
That's a penalty. Okay. And okay. Cool. That's a cool penalty. Fine. To me, the more important thing is the public humiliation.
Right. He's got to wear this thing.
Huh? Well, I thought it was for the winner.
No, the winner designs it.
The winner designs the shirt for the loser
And the loser has to go out and get it made. Get it paid
and
for
wear it.
And wear it. At least to the next draft.
It's got to be more than that.
That's fine. But I'm just throwing a suggestion out to get the ball rolling. If you could think of with a better idea.
No, I think that's fun. I don't necessarily think it needs to be the winner that decides the how the shirt looks. Maybe at the owners' meeting we design the shirt.
Okay, so is there going to be an owners meeting coming up pretty soon?
It's every year. It's just annual.
Right, but we're not going to have that.
We're gonna have there's a rewards dinner
Okay, does that happen before or after the playoffs?
after.
Is the rewards dinner
The rewards dinner is
after
when
the whole
trophy's
league is
given
closed
out.
up? Okay.
The trophy's given out. The cash is given out, and the other awards.
When is that like a Saturday or something?
I think we did it. On a Saturday night.
Okay. So
I can't remember exactly.
should the league pick the punishment on that Saturday rewards dinner?
Well, I mean, we kind of started the conversation so that we could decide this one now.
We can still do that.
And I mean,
But I didn't.
and I'm fine.
You're
with
giving me
that.
new information. I didn't know there was a rewards dinner.
Yeah, well, at the rewards dinner, everything's given out, so it's already
Right.
decided.
Okay.
So it's not
So
something.
they would have to wear this shirt at the rewards dinner
Yes, that would be good. And the draft
and the draft.
and the owners meeting.
Okay, so that's yeah. I mean, at any meeting we have until the next.
We're gonna have to invent some extra meetings so
Yeah,
we get some
yeah,
extra
yeah.
use out of the shirts.
So
Take some pictures.
So that's idea number 1. Do you two have another idea that we can suggest and put out there?
I'm a big fan of food, and I like.
I can get behind that. I can get behind food.
I really like the loser paying for the food.
So
that's a big thing for me.
I think
Just
with
like
Kenny
that's-
right now is he really thinks that's not humiliation enough.
right? He wants humiliation
That's
involved
because,
too.
like,
I
there's
gotcha.
okay. That's because for me personally, like, that's not even a that's I do that all the time. I fucking
I
buy
get
people
it.
food all the time. That's
I
not
get
even that's
it.
not even a fucking punishment.
So my thing is
It's gonna be
this.
more money than the league.
My-
you know what I
my
mean?
thing
Cost
is
of the
this.
league, so it's a punishment.
I would forget.
So
I would
here's
forget.
my
in
thing.
addition,
I
to-
would forget about that though. Like I would forget. Like so, if the punishment was like, I took you guys out to dinner and I spent $150, like I would forget what my punishment for the
Okay.
league was that year. Whereas like if it was something I had to do
Yeah.
and wearing the shirt and stuff like that, that is memorable. So to me, it's not necessarily about the penalty of losing. It's about like making sure that they remember that they lost.
And I'm
that
thinking
year.
about the gain of the league. What does everybody else get from that guy?
So okay, and
So,
and
here's
to
the
me,
thing.
okay, now and I get that. To me, we're not playing for enough for that to matter.
So for me, public humiliation, it like the way you're describing it, it's good for half a laugh to me. I'm like, and then I move on with my life. Like, I don't care. I would rather have the free meal. I would rather have the cop out of having that $100 extra going to the first place team, or $50 or $75. Like, that to me is a bigger gain as a winner.
bet you guys
than
are horrible
fucking last
romantics.
Free meal has power, bro.
place. So,
I'll bet you guys are awful romantics.
I am super awful romantic. I could share something. I could share something with everybody that would blow everybody's mind.
You
Right?
could,
Go for it.
Don't do it.
Okay.
Don't blow any minds.
Speaking of romanticism, me and my wife has celebrated one Valentine's Day in our entire marriage, and that was because another couple invited us out to dinner.
What do you mean?
We've never bought each other gifts.
you
on
avoid
Valentine's.
it?
Not that we avoid it. We just don't do it.
Okay.
We go to each other. Are we buying each other's Christmas gifts this year? Nah. Okay.
Yeah, we're
We
going
don't
together
do
on
that
all the
shit.
other gifts.
Anniversaries,
We're
we
busy.
don't buy each other gifts and stuff. Romanticism, it's non-existent
So,
as far
Bro,
as
in my
marriage goes.
in my opinion, that just means you got a good relationship.
So
So-
and we've been together almost 20 years.
And I was gonna say something similar. Like to me, like the American like sensationalized holidays and stuff like that, the ones where you're like supposed to do something romantic.
Yeah.
Like I don't think that those are necessarily that important. It's more about every day.
Yeah,
You know, what you do every day, and if you're doing your job every day, like you shouldn't feel like you need to be on, like putting on a show.
But, like,
because
did
it's
I get the
February
right
4th
card on the right
because it's
day?
February 14th.
So
you know?
like, but when you share that kind of information with people at work, their minds are just blown.
Because that's all they do. Because it's
Right.
like that's their like, oh, if I didn't do this on Valentine's Day, well, I wouldn't even have a girlfriend, or I wouldn't even have a
Yeah.
wife, or something like that. And that's because you don't do anything on the other days.
And that's part of it.
So you fucking better show up on those days.
So as far as when you said that like you're not a romantic or whatever, that's kind of like, yep, I don't celebrate Valentine's Day. I don't really celebrate anniversary. I do want to do a 25-year anniversary party, right? Which you guys would both be invited to.
Cool.
But that's about 5 years away, if I'm doing my math right.
Man, that's too soon.
Too soon. Only
Fucking
25
figure it
years.
out. Clear the calendar, man. It's in October.
That's not what I mean. It's
5
not
years.
too soon for me to make it. I'm saying it's too soon. It shouldn't be. We shouldn't be coming up on 25 years already.
Yeah, I know. It's fucking crazy.
It's too soon.
Yeah. Speaking of which, like I'm the old man of the group by quite a bit, right?
Well, how old are you? Anyway?
47.
Oh,
you
no
look 47.
shit, dude.
Yeah.
I'm
You
40
do not look 47.
Sorry.
at
I'm
all.
47 on Sunday.
Hey, happy
So,
birthday,
happy
dude.
birthday.
Yeah, you get to
Thank
watch football. Are you going to have a cake?
Well, now we know. He's gonna have a
The
cake
kids-
now.
the
We're gonna
ki-
get him one.
I've got kids, man. We have to have a cake. Are you kidding me?
Right.
So yeah,
I had a birthday
Uh,
party, like maybe it was last year where I did like a
I
T-Rex
didn't,
party.
I didn't get a cake this year.
Oh really?
When is your birthday?
Oh,
October 18th.
Oh, okay.
your kid's not old enough to
No,
demand it
my
yet,
son,
you know what I mean?
my son's not old enough
Yeah.
to make sure that there's a cake.
Oh, dude. Like
So
say,
what ends up
after this,
happening-
Like, it has to happen.
What ends up happening is your kids know that like they feel more passionate about birthdays than you do, so you end up having to have a birthday for them.
Yep.
You have to have a birthday party for them.
No, but I mean that's
Absolutely.
fun.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, that's what ends up happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For sure. So how old are you guys?
I'm 37.
37. Okay.
36,
All right,
37
so
in February.
I got about a decade on you guys.
Yeah,
Right
you
on.
do.
Okay.
And honestly, you do not look. I would have pegged you maybe 2 years older than me.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say 41.
I appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you. I spent most of my life looking older, so now it's like it's going the other way now. So, but when I was 17 years old, like I could buy beer like nobody's fucking business. Like, not a problem.
That was Conrad.
Maybe, yeah.
That was no. Seriously, he did in high school.
Yeah, I believe you.
He had Ricky's.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, now that you mentioned it. Had that fool's ID.
Like, so our friend, he would when he had a job at Big Five when he was 18, and they would send him home on his lunch break and tell him to shave. And he shaved before he came to work. So no, we never had a problem. Getting alcohol has never been a problem in my life, ever.
Nice.
Yeah.
He's who I had my first drink with, too. I remember the day because I was smoking a cigar. My wife was in Japan visiting family. And I was smoking a cigar. And I flicked it. And the cherry off the cigar came and burned the bottom of my eyelid. Right?
Yeah.
and I wasn't quite 21, and so my eye was burning the fuck out of me. And I called Conrad up, and I was like, dude, my eye is burning the shit out of me. Bring alcohol over so this pain will go away. And I don't remember what he brought over, but he brought it over. We drank. The Revenge of the Sith trailer came out that same day. So we were watching that. We were watching that trailer as we were drunk. Yeah, and I remember him making fun of me the following day or two because I was so hyped about that. You know what I mean? That trailer, and yeah, that was the first time I ever got drunk. It was with him. You know, rest in peace, Conrad.
Man, we used to have some pretty good times. But yeah.
So football.
I
thought I brought into left field on that one.
I thought we were talking about looking young.
We were talking about looking young. We were talking about punishment. The punishment was, I came up with the shirt. I'm willing to. You said dinner, right? Are you still on that?
I like having that person have to feed everybody else. Like,
yeah,
I think that's cool because everybody gets a benefit out of it.
So you know what? Have to pay as the person who typically fronts all the costs for feeding the league.
I know you do, man. I know you do. And
totally not saying, against that.
Like, throw that out there. You know what I mean?
Do you have
something better than like Little Caesars? You know?
Do you have anything out there that you want to throw out there because to me, we could do a combo. He could be fucking buying us food and fucking wearing the shirt.
And let me just throw a suggestion out here. Like we're kind of on the spot right now. Like we haven't had a chance to think about it. Like let's throw this out to the league too. Like let's let them make comments too. And so all comments, and we'll kind of like try to finalize it next week.
Having a few ideas and bouncing them off the rest of the league is not a bad idea. So what I just thought in my head right now, what about a compounding penalty for someone who
just keeps losing,
who keeps finishing last?
Murder villains.
What's up, Juan? Sorry,
Somebody lie. I'm down with that.
9-1.
Like in a
11-1.
Like in a redraft league, it shouldn't happen. Like you shouldn't like that. It shouldn't have. You shouldn't have like 3 consecutive, last place finishes. Someone's gonna, we'll have to sit down with him and help him draft.
No, actually, there's a punishment right there.
And actually,
have like an 8-year-old help him draft or something.
That's a really good punishment.
My daughter would be like, "I'm down."
Yeah, I'll get my nephew. He's a huge Panther fan. He'll be drafting Cam Newton first.
No, it's got to be a girl, man. A little more humiliating, Little 8-year-old girl, just like, no, you don't know what you're talking about.
Don't pick that guy. We don't like that guy. Their uniforms are green. We don't like green uniforms.
We like orange.
Yes. Oh man. So, I honestly no. I'm bad at like picking humiliating punishments. I just know that that's what I want it to be.
So,
let's think about it.
So you guys watched The League, right? Did you watch it?
The show, no.
You got to watch it.
I remember you telling me that. What's it on right now?
It's on. It's an FX show, but you can watch it on.
It's probably on Hulu.
You can watch it on Amazon Prime, Hulu.
Okay.
Probably Netflix as well. That was how I first watched it. Was Netflix. Have you watched it?
But if it's on FX, it's probably on Hulu right now.
I've watched of the first 2 seasons. I've probably seen maybe like 4 episodes out of each of the first 2 seasons. So like. I haven't seen a lot. I need to go back and rewatch them, and I recognize how funny they are. They are.
Yes. Okay. So that's what I want. That's what I want.
That kind of league, that kind of punishment, that kind of. I got you.
That's what I want.
I want to cop out.
Like I honestly. So here's what I want, and you haven't seen this. You got to watch. So what you need to do, since you've seen enough to know who the characters are, and like it won't be a spoiler to you. Watch season 3, episode 1.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not going to tell you what happens, either of you guys. That's what I want for a Sacco punishment.
Okay.
Season 3,
And let's send that out to the rest of the league too.
Season 3, episode 1 of the league.
Go watch it, guys, and let's figure it out.
That's what I want. I want stuff like that because it doesn't have to be the same thing every year. But man, the levels that they went to, like, humiliating that guy was great.
I like it.
I still think we need a cop-out dollar figure.
Like, it's
that
hard.
Sounds like somebody who's about to get last place that's like asking. Asking for the future. It's like, next year, I just want to pay some money.
That's what I said, too. That's exactly what I said. Was like, okay, you're planning for year 5.
Right.
Like, you're not going to get last place this year or next year, but you know it's coming. So you want
want to be ready.
Okay, let's say all those things are true. Let's say all of that is true. Nobody's willing to have a cop-out price. Nobody in first place is like, I don't give a fuck if you're wearing a baby diaper. I'd rather have the $200 and
I'd rather
put it into the pool for the league or
fucking
something.
Have a baby diaper on.
Dude, there's like,
okay, so
have to give
this
me
sounds like
you'd have to give me a lot of money in order for me to fucking not want you to do something humiliating like wear a baby diaper.
So this sounds like something that we'll have to vote on.
Actually, now that we're talking about it, that's what I thank you.
At an owner league.
We just did it.
I'm proposing it.
I want the loser. I want the loser to have to wear a baby diaper and go to dinner with us.
In the baby diaper?
In the baby diaper.
So you would have to call the restaurant in advance and be like, hey, is it okay if somebody shows up in a baby diaper?
We can always have him wear it over his pants. So
yeah.
it's like,
legit, if you did something like that, then yeah.
Over the clothes. Over the clothes is fine.
You don't have to go in naked with just a diaper.
Yeah, and it'll say.
Although I like that.
It'll say
I like that visual.
The diaper. The diaper will say "fantasy football baby."
Wearing your Depends.
and he's got to wear a bonnet that says "I suck at fantasy football." I'm a fantasy football baby. Something to that effect.
Yeah.
All right, Lee. You've heard some suggestions. You've heard what show to watch. Like, figure it out. Like, what do we want out there? You have to put some suggestions out there. And if there's other people out there just watching the show, tell us what you want us to do. Like, what do you think? Throw us some suggestions. What do you think?
And keep in mind, we already know who the last place guy is going to be, so we really got to get this locked in.
Yeah. It's time.
Poor Juan. Oh, my God. So where are we at?
As far as record time, we are right at 2 hours and 18 minutes.
Well, I mean, where were we at? We were talking about matchups, and then we got.
Oh, we finished that.
Okay.
Yeah, we finished. I mean, the only matchup was mine, and we don't need to. Fuck
Team
with
Hernandez
that,
versus Murder Villains.
No, because she tried last week.
All right, I'm just gonna cop up right here. I just want to tell everybody about my fantasy season right now because
right now we got Bryan versus Kelsey.
I've been playing fantasy football for 20 plus years. And other than my very first year, I have done really well. And the amount of times, no matter how many leagues I'm playing, I have missed the playoffs, I can count on one hand. That's how many times I've missed the playoffs in all my leagues in over 20 years. And this year, I'm in 5 leagues, and I'm going to miss the playoffs in at least 3 of the 5 leagues.
Jeez.
Like, what the fuck is happening? This year has been so freaking insane. Like, I can't understand what is happening. I can't predict anything. Like, all the trends that I see, the week that I bet on that trend, it's gone. DFS. Like, I've had some sniffs at some good showdown or some good payouts, but that's it. Like, it has just been one hell of a nasty year of fantasy football, and I am looking forward to a normal year next year, and fuck this year. So anyway, moving on.
I think we'll win this win though.
After
this week, yeah.
So after hearing that,
I predict that Badman Bunch is going to win, and Lizzie will not be back for next year's fantasy.
I love you, Lizzie, but yeah, I don't think she's back.
Yeah, those two things are probably true.
Yes,
her and Jovid both probably, but they didn't like the 12 teams, so they weren't even before
I got you. They like to have
extenuating circumstances took place. They weren't happy with 12 teams. Not as diehard avid players.
Right.
Which is funny because Jovin's doing really well.
12 teams is a lot tougher. I mean, you're splitting up the talent. Another.
You're not. So the thing is like when your guy gets hurt, you're not just going to your bench and starting another stud. That's the difference because we did that last year. We had, in our first season there were only 10 teams.
Yeah.
And so it was much different. Like last year.
So did you guys vote on a 2-team expansion? Mm-hmm. And so they lost the vote, no?
Huh?
So
No, they
the
didn't
vote.
vote against it. They didn't vote against it. But I'm assuming they didn't really like have the experience to know how it was going to play out and how it was going to be different. Right. And so, several weeks into the season, like they're
trying to pick something up off the waiver wire, and they're like, "What the fuck?"
They're just not having as good a time as they were last year, because of that. Because they're not just going out and starting another good player. They're just having to get Dearness Johnson and having to start Alex Collins.
Yeah,
and to me, that's fun. That's the fun of fantasy football. That's
the skill.
That's the skill part. Is that it's not always just like, I started Julio Jones. I don't know what happened. How did Russell Gage score all those points? Like it's knowing that stuff, knowing when that stuff is going to happen, is the skill in fantasy football to me. So what I was going to say is so your fantasy season is not going well. I am in 4 leagues, and I'm going to cruise into the playoffs. Into 2 of them I'm cruising. I actually have some injuries that are have slowed my teams down a little bit towards the end. We're going to peter into the playoffs, and I'm not as excited about those 2 teams as I am this one. And this one has the worst record of the 3 teams. The 3 teams that I had control over drafting are all going to make the playoffs. But I missed my Megala Bowl draft, and that team's 2-10. And
Makes sense.
And that one's been bad. That's the one where it's been all year long. It's been like you were talking about betting on trends and them ending that week, and I've had a couple of seemingly good trades turn real sour. And then fantasy football goes that way sometimes.
Absolutely.
But then, like we're talking about in the other league, the league that we talk about that this podcast is for, I started 1-4. And
you made some good trades. I totally give you that. You know the people in your league, and like I said, you were able to make the trades you needed to make, and I was very impressed by that. You made some really good trades.
Thank you.
I made 0 trades, and I know nobody in this league when we started, other than Kenny.
You're learning, man. We'll get there.
Yeah, so the next team, the last team we have in the lineup is Slim Ballers against the Unbelievables. I'm rooting for Slim Ballers, actually,
and I'm not.
I just need the Unbelievables to lose a little bit, Fuck those guys. Fuck his Dak Prescott, who already scored 14 points.
Slim is the other guy that's in front of me that I want to lose.
And
he was supposed to lose last week. What happened? Mm-hmm. What happened?
Yeah, that was a weird matchup.
I had it all worked out.
It's like the fantasy gods were torturing me. It was literally 50-50 up until Monday night.
And you were supposed to win.
Yes,
you were like a 60% favorite.
50-50, but it was really 55-45 all week long, all weekend long, up until Monday night, up until fucking halftime.
Yes. And the projection finally came back down.
Yes.
And
And thanks for bringing that up, Ken.
And also,
it doesn't hurt a bit. But,
he also got super lucky. What was there was some particular score that happened where I was like, oh my God, Slim, I can't believe how lucky
I'm trying to forget them all.
I gotta pull this up.
I want to take this moment to let everybody know that you got 3 minutes to get 3% off the Command Zone. Just visit their website and their Facebook page, commandzone.com. You got 3 minutes to get 3% off your purchase.
3 minutes. Don't
3
miss out,
minutes.
folks.
Don't miss out.
We're going to have to up that percentage if we want people to get in there.
5 for 5.
So for those of you guys that don't know, the inside joke is I actually don't have the authority to do that, to give you guys 3% off the command zone.
But I do.
And so like I'm just kind of ribbing Kenny a little bit because like that's not gonna happen. Nobody's gonna come in the next 3 minutes and go do everything I need to say. But maybe one day you will.
Someday.
Maybe one day you will. Like you're gonna come in here waiting for that. You know what I mean? And just take advantage of it. But I also know that if worse came to worse and somebody did take advantage of that, I wouldn't be setting my wallet too far behind, worrying about 3%.
I think the command zone would honor the agreement.
So
Right, I need to run to the bathroom.
It was the
real
Mark Andrews score. That was the one where I saw that and I was like, oh my God. Because I think that was the only touchdown they scored.
So again, I'd like to mention that if you're listening on Spotify or iTunes or another podcast platform, remember that you can leave your comments on the YouTube channel, right? Just look up Friday Fantasy Football and just leave a comment. I'm Clouded Jester. The logo is an owl with a jester hat on it, right? Because it's kind of under my umbrella of things right now. So go right in, leave a comment, and it's not hard to find us, right? What do you got? Do you got a plug for your command zone shop?
Oh, so
you
yeah,
said you were going to prepare something.
you know what? And I forgot. I realized that as I was on my way over here that I'd forgotten about that. But what we have going on tomorrow, like, is our store championship modern 1K Magic the Gathering tournament, and we will be having a bunch of sales between now and Christmas.
Okay. I don't normally do this because it goes against my code as a person, but I wouldn't mind if you hooked me up with a few games. One of them being Overnight Werewolf. And the reason for that is because you're going to become part of the club that we're in. And I don't like saying names about the clubs. My intention is to have those readily available when I'm over there at the same club that we're at.
Okay.
So that was one of the ones I happened to be talking about where somebody was like, that sounds like a lot of fun. You should bring it over next time you're here. Like, and so I was like, yeah, maybe I should have like a chest full of games in my car ready to go when I'm over there.
I have we've been talking recently about how we need to just we maybe need to get rid of a bunch of our demo games.
Okay.
Because so if you walk into the store right now, the very back wall is behind where we sit at the computers.
Yes, I know what wall you're talking about.
Is loaded with board games.
Yeah.
Those aren't for sale. They're for people to pick up and play for free. And we've been talking about recently, it's like the last space that we have in the store that's not merchandised. Mm-hmm. We've been talking about, bringing the demo games down and merchandising that wall. So that could happen. We could be unloading a lot of games and donating them.
So keep me in mind because I wouldn't mind holding on to those.
Keep the club in mind.
Keep the club in mind, yeah. Until they have a designated spot to put them, I would hold on to them.
Yeah.
Personally, or you can hold on to
them.
them.
But I thought about that when we did the walkthrough in that place. I was like, wow, this would be a great place to do exactly that.
Mm-hmm. And the upstairs bar is almost done. So we're almost there with that.
Initiation next week.
I thought it was the 16th.
Week after next.
Okay, good. Because I wanted to go to a couple meetings before your initiation, just to kind of refresh my mind on how that happens, But Bryan said he's too young to join the club.
My kids are too young for me to join the club.
I was hit up this week about how one of the grandkids of one of the members was getting into chess, and I was like, you know what? I got a son that's about the same age as that kid. Absolutely, because kids can be there, they just can't sit at the bar, kind of thing. Right. So that might become a Sunday thing where they play chess.
That's cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll go. So we should go there, watch the Sunday night game, and
I don't mind doing that I got to get to bed early on Sundays, early-ish. But if like you guys want to get together like on a Saturday night, that's like prime. Let's go have some drinks and talk football or whatever and stuff like that. And that Saturday night is also a good night because sometimes the hall is being rented, so they're there till like midnight anyway. You know what I mean? So like if it's got to be a late night, we can make it a late night kind of thing, and we don't have to get fucking drunk. Just have a few drinks and just talk and bullshit, and just get our articulation down a little bit better.
Yeah, and talking about doing the podcast, making that more like a streamlined thing, where we're moving through the things that we're doing, and get less sidetracked and stuff like that.
I don't know. I like some of the sidetrack, but yeah.
No, I like it too. I like the sidetrack too.
I am 1,000% down for sidetrack segue conversation because, like, when you guys get up and leave, I'm still finishing the back end production stuff, right? And that stuff takes me just as long to do, whether it's a 2.5 conversation or a 10.5 hour conversation. You know what I mean? So I get more bang for my buck the longer we go.
Yeah,
I got you.
So, and it's another thing where it's just like the more we just talk to one another, the better we get at just communicating to one another, and so there's there's that element too, Absolutely. I still got to publish this stuff when you guys leave, and I think you guys have noticed. I don't know if you've subscribed yet to any of the podcast platforms, but you'll see it when it gets published, right? It's usually the same night because I'll forget about it if I don't do it the same night. You know what I mean, kind of thing. So it's better for me that way to just publish it the same night than to wait on it or sit on it.
So what he was subtly saying there is I need to subscribe, and I haven't yet, so I'll get on that.
And you guys need to spend more time with me while you're here.
Right.
When I pull out the microphone and hook everything up and all that other bullshit that goes into all this stuff. So which we spent a good
We're
chunk
doing
of
that right
time.
now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're not talking about football anymore, really.
So this is the and stuff part of the podcast, right?
Yeah.
Because my podcast is out there as and stuff, right? Because and for those of you guys who've stuck around and have known, this is kind of like my digital journal at the same time. If this fantasy football thing, if you guys like become like this is your new home kind of thing, we can absolutely divvy it and segue it into a whole nother channel, a whole nother publishing stream and all that stuff. You know what I mean? That's absolutely something that could happen in the future.
The fantasy footballers also do the Spitballers podcast. Have you checked it out?
I've never listened to it.
I haven't either, and I want to, and I haven't.
It honestly
because they're funny. They're funny guys, and I just want to listen to at least one,
right,
and see what it's about, and see what they're doing.
But while I enjoy that part of their podcast, like that's not what I'm tuning in for.
No,
I'm tuning in for their information, their insight, the fact that they have 40 hours a week to put into research on all these games and everything else, and I'm trying to take advantage of that.
Yep.
And the fact that they're funny while they do it, that's a nice side note, but that's not what I'm there for.
I got a few things about that, right? Just being in the content creation game for a long time, there are people that are like that. Just give me my data. And there are people who want to have a connection more than just data. Right. They want to get to know us, and we want to get to know them. And we're going to have those people that want more than just football. And I'm absolutely there to provide for those people if they want to talk about their bullshit that's going on throughout the week.
I was dying laughing this morning listening to Fantasy Football Today, the CBS one, because they were talking about they're on this thing. They're on Spotify. There's a new tool where you can see how many minutes you've listened to any given thing.
Oh yeah.
And so they're encouraging people to tweet about how many minutes they've listened to their the podcast and stuff like that. And then also in talking about that, they've mentioned like the things that they have listened to the most. And so the host Adam Azer, he's like he was talking about what he listened to the most was a Weezer track. It was "Keep Fishing" by Weezer. and he just read it matter of factly because he was learning the information as he was like giving it to us on the podcast. And his response was to his own learned information was like, wow, I would have thought it would have been something else. I'm just dying laughing because I know this song and I like this song. I'm a Weezer fan, so it's like, and that's the thing is like connecting with with that person at that moment is like I can imagine having the same thing as like. I didn't realize I listened to the Sweater Song that much. I guess
it's funny that you bring up Weezer because and just recently, like the last week or two, I have come to the conclusion that Weezer might be the best cover band ever fucking out there ever. They have their original content. I know that, but they might be the best cover band too to boot.
What are their big covers?
They've done a Metallica song. They've done Stand By Me. They've done Billie Jean. They've done the Aha song, Take On Me.
Yeah, I know.
They've done a lot of cover songs, man. They're fucking out there with cover songs.
Rivers is really good. Rivers Cuomo is the lead singer for Weezer.
Oh, okay.
And he's a really talented dude. And they're a fun band. I like that band.
They are a fun band. That's the way to put them. That's a good way to put them.
What I love about them is that they do things like they live in LA and they're always at the Del Mar County Fair. Okay. And so you can just go fucking go down to the horse track and watch the races and catch a fucking Weezer show. And
that's cool.
And also
I do that.
I was at a Magic tournament in downtown LA one time, and there was this fucking big commotion on the street, outside the building where we were in. I was like, what's going on? Weezer was setting up a fucking street concert.
That's badass.
They were just fucking setting up an impromptu street concert. And this isn't just like this is like fucking 5 years ago. These guys, they're huge. These guys are huge. They put their name on a venue and it's going to sell out. They're going to make however much money that they asked for, and they still do things like fucking set it for free.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys feel like playing right now? Let's go downstairs.
Yeah. That's what makes me like people like that.
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
Like that's a cool mentality.
It's hard not to be a fan of people who just want to do stuff like that.
They're a good band.
They are a good band. But anyway, that stuff right there is that made me laugh. And I think that stuff will connect people more, to a show than just the stats do, because like the reality of all of those shows is that if it wasn't for the personality aspects of them, you wouldn't be able to listen to them every day.
Right.
Because the fantasy stats themselves they can be mind numbing to even the person who's
and you could look them up
trying to you can look them up yourself, and after I listen to them every single day, because I'm trying to have the best information all the time, and the stats can be a little bit just boring, and also not even just boring, but after a while of doing it, you kind of already know, you already know those stats. You're looking for when I'm listening to the podcast now, I'm being entertained by them. And I'm listening to the little bits of stats that I don't have time to dig and get. The
anomalies, yeah.
Yeah, the thing and it's not just what they did. It's it's a compilation. So the footballers are the best at doing that. The footballers are the best at putting together 6 weeks of what a guy's been doing, and then also comparing it to other 6 week stretches and stuff like that. Adam's pretty good too on the fantasy football.
And they've got the staff to do it, and that's why I think maybe
that's a big thing right there.
Yeah, exactly. And so maybe we take a different tack with our fantasy football, and
they also
go in a little bit of a different direction.
So the footballers started really small.
Agreed.
The footballers it's funny to me that there's a closet right there, because they talk about how they started, and that when they started, Jason worked out of the closet. He sat in, they had removed the doors from the closet, and he sat in a closet, and that's where, and his desk was in front of it.
Right. Yeah. So when I first started streaming and getting into content creation, My desk was in a walk-in closet, so I have something similar. Then, I obviously expanded, and now I have an actually room dedicated to my office, and I was able to put stuff up. One of the things I think that I enjoy, and I think we're different than a lot of football things that I've seen out there, is we're a little bit more mild temperament. And
not taking it so seriously.
Well, like if I listen to Patrick McCaffrey, those guys go over
the energy level?
Oh, they're just, yeah! And they're all freaking clapping whenever something. And I'm just like, ugh. Like I cringe and then like I shut you off because I'm not at that energy level. And I like that our podcast is a little bit more mellow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we're chilling.
We're on Friday nights,
end of the week, we're drinking, we're having a good time. You guys are welcome to drink with us and tell us your favorite drinks. Leave them in the comments.
Make suggestions. Yeah.
Leave them in the comments.
So that way we when we show up at the liquor store, we're not like actually trying to figure out what we want to drink. Suggestions would be nice.
Yeah.
And so it's like every podcast you've ever recommended to me, there is some point where they elevate the energy level for the sake of just elevating the energy level. There's no reason for it other than just being a bunch of guys cheering.
Yeah, it
just freaking bothers the hell out of me. You know what I mean? Like I'm not there. I don't need that
and
energy.
it's funny. So I think the footballers are the best at not doing that.
So
because you can tell they're all such good friends.
Yeah.
Whereas like the other podcasts,
it's too theatrical for me.
The other podcasts besides the footballers are a compilation of people with skill sets that have been put together. The footballers are friends,
which is what we're doing.
That decided they wanted to do this thing, and you can tell. So they don't have a bunch of like high energy back and forths because if one of them gets animated about something, the other two will shut up and listen to him.
Right.
And they'll let him get his point out, and
then either tear it apart or support it.
Then there's joking and laughing, or there's agreement. Yeah. And so they're easily the best podcast to listen to as far as like entertainment and not gonna like bother you one way or the other, and like you could kind of forget that you're listening to fantasy football podcasts sometimes when you're listening to them. Yeah. But the other ones are all very, very, very like statistic heavy.
Yeah.
And like if it wasn't for the fantasy football today one, if it wasn't for Adam like being like a personality, like that show would be awful. That show would be awful. And the ESPN guys, Matthew Berry's fading for me. Like I like Matthew Berry a lot, but he's kind of like become like the godfather of fantasy football, and so he's just kind of like loud and boisterous all the time now. Whenever he's actually talking, and they'll go through entire games where they like break down a game and he didn't say anything. And so like to me that show now is about like Stefania Bell is the most important part of that show.
Honestly, that's one of the ones I don't really listen to. Like I'll watch.
You should listen to it because she has all the injury information.
I listen to Betts. Betts is pretty good about that stuff.
I haven't listened to him. I'm not sure who that is, but Stefania Bell is on. It's like she is fucking.
Do you listen to the DFS?
On point. Yeah, the CSS DFS.
Yeah, the DFS podcast for the footballers.
Oh no, I don't.
Yeah, that's Matthew Betts.
I don't.
He's on there, and he's a physical therapist.
He's their Sunday guy.
He's really good about injuries.
He is good. Yeah. Yes. So, I should start listening to that one. I haven't listened to that one yet because it doesn't pop up with the rest of their podcasts.
Right.
So you have to actually search that one up. Whereas the ESPN one, it just kind of like they also put the DFS podcast. Oh, we didn't do DFS. We never did that.
I was just going to say that.
I
really have to get going, but I really want to put it in my lineup real quick.
Hold on.
So do you want to share it?
Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
Do it. Yeah.
Go for it. So what do you got?
All right, hold on.
DraftKings.
All right, I'll go first since I have my notes.
Go ahead.
All right, so at quarterback, we got Tom Brady.
Ditto.
At wide receiver, I've got Godwin, AJ Green, and Devontae Parker.
All right, I've got Godwin as well.
At running back, we've got Cordero Patterson, Antonio Gibson, and we're flexing Elijah Mitchell. I've got tight end. I got Rob Gronkowski, and then we're starting at Dolphins defense.
All right, we've got a few things in common, but we have a lot of differences that I didn't expect. So let's see. I've got Tom Brady. My running backs are Gibson. Like I say, I totally agree with that one. Mixon is my other. And in the flex, I've got Sony Michel going right now.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one.
And if Henderson plays, then I've got a little switch on this. But anyway, I don't expect.
So what was the cost on? I'm going to pull these up. What was the cost on Sony Michel?
$4,300.
Okay,
which is a beautiful savings.
So what's your pivot?
My pivot would be to change defenses to a much cheaper defense and go with Connor.
And your defense currently is
Miami.
Okay.
Yeah. Godwin, Jefferson, and Reynolds are my 3 receivers.
Josh Reynolds?
Josh Reynolds.
Where is he?
Detroit.
Oh, God.
He's back with Jared Goff, baby.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
That's a good one. That's a DFS superstar start.
Absolutely.
Right
He's. I got him for $3,400. That's what let me get Jefferson into the lineup, and I really think Jefferson's going to have a hell of a game. I've got Foster Moreau as my tight end because punt play.
It's going to be popular.
Sony Michel and
I wouldn't call it a punt play. I think Foster Moreau is going to be a very popular tight end.
Oh, for sure, because he's so cheap and because he's guaranteed 6 or 7 points.
Yes.
You know what I mean, minimum.
Yeah. Everyone's gaga over his 12.5-point performance earlier in the year.
Well, it's just that he's going to get the targets for that price. That's what it is. I mean, gotta love it.
What I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and just throw a lineup together. Right now, I'm going to go with Matthew Stafford, right? I'm going to go with Connor, Gibson, and as for wide receiver, I'm going to go with Kupp.
Mm-hmm.
The other wide receiver I'm going to go with is, let's go with, that's kind of high. Let me find a $5,000 receiver. Let's see here. Higgins. Let's go Higgins because one of you guys picked Higgins up there.
Chase.
So I'm going to go out based off of what you're saying over there. Then we're going to go with another one.
Look at that board. That's a nice looking board.
Let's see here. Kirk. Yeah, let's go with Kirk. Tight end. I'm running out of my salary here really quick. So let's go with
tight end. You either need to go Moreau or Shaughnessy. Those are your 2 savings tight ends.
2 cheaper ones.
Yeah.
Who?
Oh yeah. So I should also mention that
Moreau is $2,700.
Currently,
Shaughnessy should be somewhere around there.
Devontae Parker is still listed on the IR.
Yeah.
But they did activate him.
Yes, but I don't have to put him in my lineup yet. So.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Everett.
So I don't have to drop Boston Scott just yet.
Let me pick my defense.
I'm in a very similar spot in another league.
I'm going to actually go on a limb here and pick Patriots for defense just to kind of get my
That's not a huge limb.
I mean, you don't want to play a defense against Josh Allen usually.
All right, so here's my lineup. Anyway. So I literally just did that live, right, just to keep up with you guys. So quarterback, Matthew Stafford. Running back, Arizona, Jay Connor. Running back, Washington, A. Gibson. And wide receiver, T. Higgins off Cincinnati. Another wide receiver, Kirk off Arizona. Another wide receiver, Cooper Kupp. That was expensive. And then tight end, G. Everett, just because kind of needed to save on the budget. Tyler Higbee. I'm not comfortable picking this many Rams, but I'm going to do it just because.
You're flexing a tight end?
Yes, he is.
All right.
Tyler Higbee.
So what's the punishment for finishing last in DFS?
That was just what I was thinking.
So I'm going to go ahead and submit that. It's going to cost me $1.
Oh, I went for the $2 lineup. But.
So this ought to be the double shot at the beginning of the show.
That's true.
Who's DraftKings is going to score the most?
The least.
The least?
Loser
of the...
Loser takes 2 shots. Second place takes 1 shot.
Listen, I'm comfortable taking 1 shot on this because I just fucking threw this together last minute.
That's fair.
Loser takes a shot.
Loser takes a shot.
Okay,
so we'll do. So at the beginning of the next episode, we'll do shots from the bets from our weekly bets.
Yeah.
And then the loser of the DFS.
I like it.
Okay, throw it up there.
All right,
let's throw it up there. Times 1. I guess you don't have to times 1 it, right? Because I mean it's whatever. So that's my lineup. I fully predict that I'm going to beat both these guys. I'm just kidding. That's my DraftKings lineup with almost zero thought, a bunch of drinks in my system. Basically, I'm just like betting on a lot of Rams players, but they are going against Jacksonville, so it's kind of like maybe
That
it's
helps.
not so bad. Maybe it's about time Cooper Kupp gets his targets. He's been not targeted that much over the past few weeks, so we got a lot of bets up there in comparison from week to week.
Somebody's going to be doing some drinking next week.
I think we're
That's
finding
for
a
sure.
groove.
So we got Damian Harris versus Kendrick Bourne. I've got Bourne. We've got Higgins versus Chase, and I've got Higgins. We've got the Minnesota Detroit over under. Ray picked the under, and so we've got shots against that one, and then we've got Baltimore with the over against Pittsburgh for a double shot. Me versus Bryan.
There you go. And of course, our Kyler versus Mooney bet that will
You're gonna be
ongoing.
so upset when the end of the first quarter is like 14-14.
You're gonna be fucked on
man.
that Super Bowl one. Hey, I got a question for you guys. We should probably,
Dude, if they win, I'll drink 3 shots.
yeah.
So,
We should probably figure this out. December 24th, Christmas Eve, is a Friday. Are we wanting to meet up that day? Are we wanting to do an early morning podcast to free up our
I
evening?
don't have obligations
I don't think I do either.
that night. Yeah, I don't.
Mine all depends. I just
In
can't
fact,
commit right now.
I'm pretty confident my son will be out of town. My soon-to-be ex-wife will be taken to Pittsburgh.
How do you feel about it?
For me, it's a very definite maybe. I put in for vacation that week, and if I get it, then there's a really good chance I can make it here. But if I don't get it, then there's
Busy
just
night.
no way.
Keep us updated because I would like to do the stockings that
Yes.
Oh, that sounds awesome. Yeah.
that day. Keep in mind, I don't know if you guys got the message last podcast that the stocking gifts that I put in there are meant to fuck with you guys. They're not meant to be like
I remember.
a candle or genuine. So
Totally fair.
All right, so we signing off?
we can absolutely. We put a good chunky
I think
time
it's
in.
about the time.
I got to be
So-
up early, so that sounds good to me.
Before we sign off, do you want to do a plug for Command Zone real quick?
I did that earlier.
Okay, so
Yeah,
then
we've got
you
a
don't?
tournament. We've got a
Go
tournament
to
tomorrow.
Command Zone.
Go to Command Zone.
Go to their Facebook
They're
page.
open 7 days a week. You can
What's the
follow us.
Facebook
We're-
page?
It's,
Come play Magic
Command
and
Zone.
lose against
It
me.
is the Hippo Squad is what you're looking for. You're looking for the purple flying hippo. There's not a whole lot of them.
And keep in mind that if you're on Spotify or iTunes or any one of those other podcast platforms, to give our YouTube channel a visit and give us, make your comments throughout the day. All right, you guys. With that, we'll see you guys next Friday, unless both these guys flake out.
Thank you.
Peace out, guys. Hope you got something from it.